Chapter 637. Guopai, what are you doing? Are you going to attack me in front of all Wuxiu? The old man couldn't help but shout as he watched Guopai walk towards him. Sect Master Zhang, you're the one who invited all Wuxiu to attack the Heavenly Dao sect. Why don't you say something? Fellow Taoist, how should I address you? You don't look familiar, Zhang Tianyang said with a smile. I'm Gu Qianyang from the Eastern Seas, Thousand Sun sect. I rarely come inland, so of course you wouldn't recognize me. However, we all came here after receiving Wu Dang's message. Sect Master Zhang, you can't just sit by and watch, Gu Qianyang said loudly. Gu Qianyang, what a good Gu Qianyang. You were Taoist Gu Qian back then, right? Guopai narrowed his eyes. Gu Qianyang, Sect Master Zhang probably forgot to tell you. When we attack Guopai, no one should speak. Only Taoist Yun Yin can speak. Why are you shouting? What? What do you mean? Gu Qianyang's eyes widened. That's right. This Gu Qianyang was the clone of a lustful demon. Seeing that Guopai was about to leave, he naturally added fuel to the fire. Now he knew that he had been tricked. He wanted to watch the show, but he fell into the trap set by Guopai, Huaxia, and the rest of Wuxiu. You know what I mean now, right? Guopai narrowed his eyes and smiled at Gu Qianyang. Taoist Gu Qian, you dare to take responsibility for what you did in the past. Today's performance has disappointed Guopai. Amazing, truly amazing. I admit defeat. Gu Qianyang saw that more and more people were surrounding him and his 6 subordinates. His face darkened. However, if you want to deal with me, you'll have to pay a price. 10,000 Wuxiu, all Wuxiu below core formation die. As Gu Qianyang spoke, he released all the pressure from his body. The 6 people around him also released their full strength. However, in the next moment, Gu Qianyang's face turned even uglier. There were nearly 10,000 Wuxiu, and their cultivations were uneven. However, when Gu Qianyang was about to attack them, he found that he couldn't do anything to them at all. It was a formation. It turned out that the moment he spoke out against Guopai, he had been isolated by space. Taoist Master Gu Qian, I don't need to say more about your true identity. Guopai narrowed his eyes and said, I've spent so much effort to set up such a trap for you. Are you satisfied? Good move. I admit defeat this time, Gu Qianyang said loudly. But if I can be buried with all the disciples of Mount Shu, I won't lose in vain this time. Ha! Gu Qianyang's words made Guopai narrow his eyes. He didn't find any corpses in Mount Shu. From the beginning, he suspected that the great devil's people had taken them away. Not all of them were killed. Hearing the words of the lustful demon, Guopai was even more convinced that there were still disciples of Mount Shu alive. Sect Head Zhang, they're all peak Golden Core experts. Let everyone retreat. The formation in front of us can only trap these guys for a while. We can't let everyone take this risk. After Guopai finished speaking, Zhang Tianyang nodded. In a short while, almost all of the Wuxiu had left. Only a dozen Golden Core experts were left standing behind Guopai. There are still disciples of Mount Shu alive. They are trapped by this Gu Qianyang. We can't kill him now. Guopai called out to Zhang Tianyang and the others as he said softly, If we kill them, Mount Shu will really be annihilated. Little you, what do you want us to do? We will listen to you. Taoist Yun Yin said softly. The others nodded. I will open the formation in a while and leave one alive. I don't have the confidence to save the people of Mount Shu. However, this time, we can't let Gu Qianyang escape. He must die, Guopai said ruthlessly. The lustful demon's clone. Previously, when he was trapped in the City of Desire, Guopai naturally knew how powerful this lustful demon was. If he could destroy one of the lustful demon's clones, it would more or less affect his main body. Guopai wouldn't give up on this opportunity. The few of them looked at each other and nodded. Guopai shouted the word break. The lustful demon, who was trapped in the formation, was delighted. However, just as he escaped from the formation, he was surrounded by Guopai and the others. True Lord, to think that you would dare to let me out without using a killing formation. Huh, you got some guts, eh? 5 Golden Core experts? All right, I'll let you guys have a taste of my methods then. The lustful demon said as he dashed towards Guo Shuai. Third Prince, 12 golden lotus petals. Don't hold back. Junior brother Tong Yuan, I will leave the matter of keeping him alive to you. Guo Pai shouted. Xin Yuan Hao and Guo Pai surrounded Gu Qinyang. The others also found their own opponents. In an instant, although Wu Xiao, who was brought by Gu Qinyang, was also in the Golden Core realm, he was at a disadvantage when fighting against Hua Xia and the others. Keep him alive? So the true monarch still wants to save the people of Mount Shu. No wonder you didn't use the killing formation. However, you are underestimating my strength. Die for me. Gu Qianyang roared and dodged the joint attack of Guo Pai and the third prince. He actually attacked the 6 people he brought with him. Grandpa Water, don't worry about Zheng's matter. First, help Brother Tong Yuan leave one alive. If they all die, then all of our efforts this time would have been in vain. Guo Pai roared. Gu Qianyang had already arrived in front of the 6 people. In the blink of an eye, 5 of them were killed. When he turned his hand to the last follower, an extremely gentle force wrapped around him. Ancestor Water Immortal, you are actually working for the Heavenly Court. Just you wait. Sooner or later, I will kill all of you. Just you wait. Gu Qianyang roared. In the next moment, Guo Pai and Xin Yuan Hao arrived. The 12-petal lotus in Xin Yuan Hao's hand fiercely hit Gu Qianyang's head. Mind-reading true monarch, just you wait. This time, I fell for your trick. However, there won't be a next time. The next time we meet, you won't be so lucky. Gu Qianyang roared. His body was shattered by the 12-petal lotus. He couldn't be more dead. Guo Pai took a deep breath and killed another clone of the lustful demon. However, Guo Pai recalled the incident in Desire City. Back then, he thought that he destroyed the lustful demon's true body. In the end, what he destroyed back then was only a clone of the lustful demon. Under the rules of the mortal realm, the great demon wasn't easy to deal with. Little you, that Gu Qianyang was killed by you? Taoist Yun Yin asked softly. Gu Qianyang is already dead. I won't hide it from you guys. I believe that there are records of the devil race in the scriptures of various sections. The matters of the devil race weren't fabricated by people back then. It's true. This Gu Qianyang is the descendant of the great demon. Guo Pai said softly. The group opened their eyes wide. I will first interrogate that devil race person and see if Shu Mountain can still be saved. After saying that, Guo Pai quickly walked towards the only devil race person saved by Shui Yunzi. Little bad, ordinary methods can't open this guy's mouth. Just use this soul-searching technique. A devil race person deserves to die. Chapter 638. Guo Pai nodded his head, and the soul-searching technique directly fell on the body of the Jindan realm devil. After a while, Guo Pai opened his eyes again, and a pill was placed in his mouth. Using the soul-searching technique on people of the same realm, Guo Pai spent a lot of mental and physical strength. The others didn't ask much, and just waited for Guo Pai's chi to stabilize. East Sea. Let's go to the East Sea. There are still survivors from Shu Mountain. We need to save them, Guo Pai said softly. The group of Wu Xiao nodded. After Guo Pai used the soul-searching technique on the devil, there were no longer any signs of life. Let's return to Bugyaku first. Gu Qianyang is dead. Let's discuss how to save him. After Guo Pai finished speaking, the group flew towards Bugyaku. The bonfires on Non-Phase Mountain were all extinguished by Shui Yunzi with a wave of his hand. After a few breaths of time, the group returned to Bugyaku. Sect Master Zhang, the matter has been resolved. The mastermind has been dealt with by us. You can let everyone return. The Wu Xiao in the nearest dojo can gather together and cultivate. Hua Xia won't be too peaceful in the near future. Guo Pai said softly and handed over nearly 100 jade bottles to Zhang Tianyang and the others. There are some medicinal pills inside. Sect Master Zhang, distribute them to everyone. 1 pill per person will definitely be enough. You can take the rest and distribute them to the Wu Dang disciples. I hope everyone will make good use of their time to cultivate. Who knows if there will really be chaos one day, Guo Pai said softly. Zhang Tianyang nodded and led a group of people to distribute the medicinal pills with the Gu family members who had returned from Non-Phase Mountain. Little bad. Where are the people from Shu Mountain locked up? I saw that your body was a little weak after using the secret technique. You don't have to go this time. The few of us will go. If there's anything, we'll talk about it when the time comes, Taoist Yun Yin said softly. My body is fine. The few of us aren't enough. We need to call for more people, Guo Pai said softly. Yun Yin and the others nodded. With Guo Pai's return, the entire Bugyaka backyard was once again filled with people. The matter of Shushan had to be resolved as soon as possible. Otherwise, if the lustful demon's other clones arrived in the East Sea, those trapped in Shushan would definitely die. Uncle Shay, Uncle Li, Uncle Chio, Brother Chi, Brother Li, Tong Yuan, Xin Yuan Hao, Air Mao, and Guohua, follow me to save them. Guohua looked at everyone and said softly. The others wanted to say something, but they were stopped by Guo Pai. I'm not done yet. Uncle Ao, bring Ao Yuan, Ao Ji, Ao Yu Dezhu, and Kong Fei to the Chun family manor in Jade Tree. Find a place to stay near the heavenly stream. Once we're done with Shushan, we'll go to Jade Tree to find you, Guo Pai said softly. Ao Feng nodded gently. After settling the matters of Shushan and Jade Tree, Guo Pai called Yer into the house. Ao Feng had already brought a few people from the dragon race and was rushing towards Jade Tree. Bad guy, big brother. What else do you want to say? Yer said with a smile. I'll leave Bugyaka to you. If a great demon really comes, don't resist. This limitless palace has already recognized its master. I'll leave it to you now. You can enter with this limitless pearl. I wonder what relationship this limitless pearl has with that old fellow from Shushan. If something really happens, bring Meng Meng and the others into the limitless palace, Guo Pai said softly. Yer nodded. After I leave, tell them my identity. I'm a banished immortal that was banished to the lower realm. No matter how bad I am, I'm still someone who was once an immortal. I'm not afraid of being laughed at. After Guo Pai finished speaking, he flew out of the room and brought along Hua Xia, a few loose cultivators of Gold Core Realm and Bugyaka's experts, and flew towards the EC. Yer looked at Guo Pai, flying away. She naturally knew who Yer was talking about. She suddenly had more expectations in her heart. So what if he's a banished immortal? So what if he's a celestial immortal? So what if he's a sage? If he can't keep his heart, so what if he broke through the 18 heavenly layers? Although I don't know why Big Sister wants me to go down to the lower realm to accompany the true sovereign, but according to what Big Brother Bad Guy has done for the human world, the day he ascends to the heavenly realm again is not far away. After Guo Pai left, Yer called all the girls into the house. Although everyone met together every day, it was the first time they gathered together like this. Big Sister, Big Brother Bad Guy just went out again. Why did you call us here? Little Ling Mo looked at you, and asked with a smile. Sisters, it's been so many years. Do you still remember how Big Brother Bad Guy looked like when you first met him? Er's words made the girls' faces turn red. They knew Guo Pai in different ways. Most of them met Guo Pai in Wu Castle. It had been several years. Little sister, did Big Bad Guy ask you to tell us something? If there's anything, just say it directly. Lin Shuang said with a smile. The other girls also nodded. Big Brother Bad Guy told you, right? He's a celestial immortal. Yer said with a smile. As soon as she finished speaking, the other girls nodded. Yi Zi and Tang, she burst into laughter. Yes, every time we ask him why he's different from before, he always says that he's a celestial immortal. However, in recent years, Big Brother Bad Guy has been really powerful. Many people in the capital say that Big Brother Bad Guy is a living celestial immortal. Moron Weiwei said softly. Do you believe that he's a celestial immortal? Yer asked with a smile. How can he be a celestial immortal? He's a complete bad guy in Wu Castle. He was just lucky that he was discovered by the seniors in your sect and brought on the right path. Yu said with a smile. The others nodded. They had the same thoughts as Yu. The fourth of the 4 bad guys in Wu Castle was also a famous one in Wu Castle. Why are you acting so strange today? What's the matter? Sun Ling asked softly. Would you believe me if I said that Big Brother Bad Guy is a celestial immortal? Yer said softly. A few years ago, Guo Pai died in a car accident. Big Brother Bad Guy happened to be the Mind Reader Sage. When he was banished to the lower realm, Mind Reader Sage took over Guo Pai's body and became the current bad guy. As Yer spoke, The others laughed as if they were listening to Yu-Er's story. Yu-Er looked at their expressions. Except for little Ling Mo, who kept nodding, no one believed her. You don't believe me? Yu-Er asked with a smile. The girls nodded. Then how do you explain the pills that Big Brother Bad Guy gave you? How do you explain Big Brother Bad Guy's various supernatural powers? Could it be that you've seen these things before you met Big Brother Bad Guy? Yu-Er continued asking. Little sister Yu-Er, if it's true that Guo Pai is a celestial immortal, then you're his martial brother and sister. You're also a celestial immortal, Lin Shuang said with a smile. I'll let you see my real body. If I don't tell you clearly now, you won't have a chance to know in the future. As Yu-Er spoke, she disappeared in front of the others. A snow-white rabbit without a single strand of mixed fur sat where Yu had just been. Little Mama turned into a rabbit. Chapter 639. Following Xiao Mengmeng's words, the group of girls' gazes landed on where Yu-Er had been sitting. A little white rabbit with a translucent body slowly stood up and looked at everyone. Yu-Er, hurry up and transform back. We believe you, Lin Shuang said in a trembling voice. Lin Shuang said with a trembling voice. In the past, she only knew that Yu-Er and Guo Pao were fellow apprentices. They knew how to fly, how to turn invisible, and how to do many things that they didn't know. However, she never imagined that Yu-Er could turn into a rabbit. Little mommy, teach Meng Meng. You use a transformation technique just now, right? It's too amazing. Little mommy, can you transform into another small animal? Xiao Meng Meng whispered to Yu-Er, who had already transformed back into a human. Xiao Meng Meng, come over to mommy and sit down properly. Don't pester mommy, Lin Shuang said softly to Xiao Meng Meng. The little girl pouted and returned to little Ling Ma's side. You are also an immortal who descended to the mortal world, right? If you're a rabbit, what is Guo Pai? Sun Ling still couldn't believe it. However, you had indeed transformed into a rabbit just now. Scoundrel Guo is a celestial being from the heavens. I'm the Jade Rabbit by Fairy Chang'e's side. Yu-Er looked at the shocked expressions of the group and said with a smile. Now, she could explain it clearly. Big bad guy, big pervert. It seems that he is not a good person in the heavens. Did he fail to seduce Big Sister Chang in the heavens? So he went to look for Big Sister Yu? Little Ling Mom mumbled. Cough, cough. Little girl, you have to be careful with your words. Some things can't be said carelessly. Yu-Er's face darkened when she heard little Ling Ma say that he was trying to seduce Chang'e. At this time, Guo Pai, who was flying towards the East Sea, suddenly sneezed in the air. Several people, flying together, looked at Guo Pai in unison. Guo Pai waved his hand at everyone. However, in his heart, he muttered, "Who is talking bad about me behind my back? So bad guy bro is really a god. No wonder he's so powerful now." Tang, she murmured. Little Yeezy nodded his head vigorously. Yu also opened her eyes wide. Do Grandpa and Grandma know about Brother Bad Guy? Lin Shuang asked softly. I don't know. Brother Bad Guy only asked me to tell you about him. The world is not as peaceful as you believe. This is also why Guo Pai told you not to slack off on your cultivation, Yu-Er said softly. What Yu-Er said today, we can't tell anyone outside of this house. Not even Grandpa and Grandma. Let's wait for Guo Pai to come back and ask him if there's anything, Lin Shuang said softly. The girls nodded. Yu-Er, I have one last question. Why was Big Brother Bad Guy banished to the mortal world? Sun Ling asked softly. The girls became excited again. Yes, what did Big Bad Guy do to be banished to the mortal world? Cough, cough. You can ask him personally when he comes back. Yu-Er said with a slightly red face. Don't go out for the time being. Stay in Bugyaku. If something happens, I can protect you. Later, Yu-Er talked to the group of girls about cultivation. At noon, the group of girls came out to eat. After eating, everyone surprisingly returned to their rooms and entered a meditative state. It seems that Bad Guy Bro calculated well. It's time to tell these people about his identity. After Yu-Er finished speaking, she entered the limitless palace that Guo Pai left for her. She now needed to familiarize herself with the matters of the limitless palace. Guo Pai and the others flew at full speed towards the East Sea. After about an incense stick's worth of time, They arrived above the East Sea. Little bad bro, where the people from Shushan locked up. We need to hurry. If we delay, something might happen. Shui Yunzi said softly. At the bottom of the East Sea. However, there can't be no one above. Uncle Shui, lead the third prince and junior brother Tong Yuan to guard the top. I will lead the others to the bottom of the sea. After Guo Pai finished speaking, he dived towards the bottom of the sea. The other top experts from Huaxia also took out their magic treasures and dived towards the bottom of the sea. Second brother, third brother, go and kill that brat. He destroyed one of my clones. They must have gone to save the people from Shushan. Kill him. Go to the East Sea and kill them. At the bottom of the heaven-reaching cascade, Lustful Demon spoke to Xuan Mang and Poison Demon through a jade stone. Fourth brother, Royal Father told us from the start not to provoke that banished immortal. However, you refuse to listen. However, the destruction of your clones is worth it. To be able to kill everyone from Maoshan and Kunlun, you have killed at least 1/10 of Wu Xiu's strength in the human realm. Blood Demon laughed. Second brother, that banished immortal contacted all the loose cultivators in the human realm and set a trap for me. Otherwise, how could he have destroyed my clones? I refuse to accept this. I refuse to accept this. Lustful Demon roared. Fourth brother, back then, Royal Father said that you were the calmest among us. I wonder why you are so rash this time. Poison Demon laughed and said, it's good that one of your clones was destroyed. This time, you only brought 6 demonic soldiers with you. Your losses aren't that great. Just stay in the heaven-reaching cascade obediently. Once the ancient demonic bug awakens, everything will be easy. When that time comes, we will send out billions of demonic soldiers. Let alone a banished immortal of the human realm, even the heavenly court will be ours. Third brother, that banished immortal must have gone to the bottom of the East Sea. You have a clone in the East Sea. Even if you can't kill that brat, you have to make the people around him pay the price. You should make a trip. If not, you can go to the imperial capital and take away his women. We can't let him be so impudent, right? Lustful Demon roared. Haha, my good little brother. Big brother will go out and take a look. If I can avenge you, Big brother will help you this time. If I can't, don't blame Big brother. After Poison Demon said that, Lustful Demon stopped talking. The 5 sons of the Demon Sovereign also quieted down. True Lord Mind reading brought a group of people to the East Sea to save people. Hee, there shouldn't be any defenses at home. I'll go to the imperial capital to take a look. True Lord Mind reading has high standards. His women must be beautiful. I'll kidnap a few of them and send them to Fourth Brother. Haha, after Poison Demon said that, a clone in the bottom of the Pacific Ocean left the Pacific Ocean and flew in the direction of the imperial capital. Sec Master Gua, where are the people from Shushan locked up? Is it easy to find them? Taoist Yin Yin asked softly. Right here, there's an array formation set up here. I'll break the array formation. Help me guard the array formation first. After Guopai said that, his consciousness seeped into the array formation at the bottom of the sea. After about 5 minutes, Guopai opened his eyes once again. Sec Master Gua, how is it? Taoist Yun Yin asked. It's not difficult to break the array formation. This is the 8 trigrams God sealing array. However, the person who set it up isn't strong. Stand according to the positions I tell you. When the array core is exposed, I'll break the array formation. Guopai explained the method to break the array formation. Everyone nodded. They recognized Guopai's ability to break the array formation. Break. Guopai and company busied themselves for another 5 minutes before Guopai roared. A huge rock in front of them slowly moved away, allowing everyone to see the situation inside. Dahua is inside. My parents are also inside, Guohua said excitedly. The great array had yet to be completely broken, and the people inside could see Guopao and the others. Immediately, the people inside grew excited. Chapter 640. Old Fei, Guopai is here to save us. Zhang Bujing said excitedly when he saw Guopai and the rest. Thousands of Shushan disciples were trapped in the East Sea. Zhang Bujing would never forget the scene that day. That day, when Guo Pao and the others had just left Mount Shu, the Great Mountain Barrier Array had already been repaired by the combined efforts of the elders of Mount Shu. However, less than 10 breaths of time after the array began operating again, a powerful pressure forcefully broke the array apart. At that time, Zhang Bujing and Fei Tianyang knew that there were foreign enemies coming, so they led a group of Shu Mountain sect elders and prepared to defend the martial sacred hall to the death. However, the people who came were too strong. 100 golden elixir realm experts basically swept through all the Shu Mountain disciples and captured them. "My lord, we have found the location of Froda. Our people have already entered, and we have captured 2 fire mythical beasts. We are lucky this time. We even captured a small fire mythical beast that has already transformed into a human form," a man in black said softly to the lustful demon clone. Back then, Zhang Bujing and Fei Tianyang knew that they were really done for this time. The medical tower was discovered, and the foundation of Shushan was completely destroyed. Back then, all the Shushan disciples were trapped in a magic treasure by the lustful demon and were then trapped at the bottom of the East Sea. The people of Shushan did not know what happened after that. At that time, Zhang Bujing recalled a handwritten message that Master Wuji had left behind in Shushan. Shushan was in a crisis and had to be rebuilt after destruction. A group of Shushan disciples finally met their savior. "It seems like these people know about my Laojun gourd. Otherwise, it would be impossible to bring them out of the East Sea." Guo Pai looked at the people trapped in the formation. There were thousands of people, but less than 10 people could swim to the surface like them. If they wanted to bring all the Shushan disciples out, they could only put them into the Laojun gourd. "Sect Master Wu, is there any way to bring the Shushan disciples out? If we rashly break the formation now, I'm afraid these disciples won't be able to withstand the pressure underwater," Taoist Yun Yin said softly. "I have a magic treasure that can take living people in. However, living people can't stay in there for too long. Right now, I can only take in Shushan disciples." Guo Pai said softly. A group of Huaxia's top Wuxiu widened their eyes. Although they had their own magic weapons, they didn't dare to think that there was really such a spatial magic weapon in the world. They didn't even dare to think that such a spatial magic weapon could hold thousands of people. Since Sect Master Wu possesses such a magic treasure, things will be easy this time around. "Let's get ready to begin," Taoist Yun Yin said with a smile. Guo Pai nodded his head and brought out the Old Lord's gourd. "Withdraw." About 10 minutes later, Guo Pai shouted the word "withdraw" at the moment when the formation was broken. Thousands of Shushan disciples who were trapped at the bottom of the sea all disappeared in the formation. Guo Pai's face was pale. Under the escort of several people, he quickly flew towards the surface of the sea. Cough, cough. I've never tried to store so many people at once. I didn't expect it to consume so much divine power. After about 10 minutes, Guo Pai and the others rushed out of the water. Guo Pai gasped for breath. "Little Bad, how was it? You rescued them, right? You don't look too good." After rushing out of the water, Shui Yunzi was the first to sense Guo Pai's aura. He flew to Guo Pai's side and asked softly, "Lord Shui Yunzi, make a formation on the surface of the water that can hold people. I'll release the Shushan disciples. They won't be able to last long in the Old Lord's gourd." Guo Pai said softly. Shui Yunzi nodded his head. The water under everyone's feet suddenly seemed to be petrified. Although it was still flowing, everyone could already stand on the surface of the water. Amazing. The Tiandao sect is really full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. With such means, if they wanted to deal with us back then, it would be a piece of cake. Several Huaxia Jinan experts looked at the petrified water under their feet and couldn't help but exclaim, "Hee hee, Lord Shuyunzi isn't from our Tiandao sect. It's all because of my face that I was able to invite Lord Shuyunzi here," Guo Pai said with a smile. After his aura stabilized, he took out the Old Lord's gourd again and said loudly, "Come out." Thousands of Shushan disciples appeared on the surface of the water. Where is this? We're out. Why can't we sink?" A Shushan disciple who came back to his senses looked at the flowing water under his feet. The water didn't touch his body, and he couldn't sink either. He suddenly became excited. We're saved. We came out of that dark place. It was Sect Master Guopai of the Tiandao sect who saved us. A Shushan disciple of the enlightening period raised his head and saw Guopai. He couldn't help but exclaim loudly. Everyone looked at Guopai in unison. Sect Master Gua, for Shushan to be able to pass this calamity, your kindness to Shushan will always be remembered. If there's anything you need us to do in the future, we will definitely do our best. Zhang Bujing and Fei Tianyang walked in front of Guopai and said loudly, if you want to thank, you should thank the people around me. If they didn't work together to break the formation, Guopai wouldn't be able to save you all by himself. Guopai pointed at the Hua Xia Jinan experts and said with a smile. Zhang Bujing and Fei Tianyang once again thanked Taoist Yun Yin and the others. Bad Master, please come over. My parents don't seem to be able to make it. Guohua quickly walked in front of Guopai and said loudly. Guopai didn't dare to hesitate and followed Guopai to an open space. Guohua was holding 2 fire mythological beasts that were the size of full moon puppies. The extreme cold of the bottom of the sea has a great impact on the fire mythological beasts. Your parents haven't transformed yet, and their bodies have been completely invaded by the cold. Guopai placed his hand on the fire mythological beasts and said softly after a while, let's go back to Shushan first. I'll think of a way when we get there. They won't die, but they won't have the invincible might they had in the past. Guopai shook his head and looked at Huahua and Guohua. Then he stuffed a pill into the mouths of the 2 fire mythological beasts and kept them in the old lord's gourd. Let's go back to Shushan first. We'll talk about other things when we get there. Guopai rested on the sea for a while and slowly got up. Everyone nodded. Then, Guopai didn't dare to put the Shushan disciples back into the gourd. Instead, he took out the big ship that he obtained in the East Sea and let the Shushan disciples board it. After setting up a grand array on the ship, several Jindan experts stayed on the ship while the others flew back to Shushan. After arriving at Shushan, Guopai didn't dare to delay. Although the resting platform couldn't be restored to its original state under the joint efforts of several people, it could still be used. Guopai placed the 2 fire mythological beasts on the resting platform and then set up a spiritual energy gathering formation around the resting platform. After about half an hour, the 2 fire mythological beasts slowly recovered their vitality. However, they were still much weaker than before they were caught. Take them back to Froda first. The formation of Froda has been destroyed and can't be repaired in a short time. Give them 3 of these pills every day. After about 3 days, the Een poison in their bodies will be expelled. In these 3 days, the 2 of you will take turns to nourish their bodies with the source of fire. This will allow them to absorb the best effect of the pills. Guopai instructed Huahua and Guohua. Both of them nodded hurriedly and knelt down in front of Guopai. Get up. Guopai is considered a member of the Tiandao sect. Huahua is also related to me. Saving your parents is my duty. You don't have to be so courteous. After Guopai finished speaking, his face suddenly turned gloomy. Not good. Something happened to Bugyaku. That damned demon. Chapter 641. Guopai had just dealt with the matter of the volcano beast when he suddenly sensed that an extremely hidden formation he had set up outside Bugyaku had been activated. This formation was something Guopai had figured out after fighting with several great devils. Anyone with the devil aura of a great devil entering Bugyaku would activate the formation. He didn't expect that a great devil would enter Bugyaku so brazenly today. Little Bad, what happened? Didn't you divine this morning that there was nothing wrong? Why are you suddenly so nervous? Shui Yunzi asked softly. Lord Shui, let's return to the imperial capital immediately. I don't know which great devil went to Bugyaku, but I'm afraid you will be at a disadvantage. Guopai didn't explain to the people from Shu Mountain and flew back to Bugyaku with Shui Yunzi and the others. Not long after Guopai and the others left Bugyaku, a patient came to Bugyaku. It was a middle-aged man who seemed to be in good spirits. However, he came to Bugyaku and said that he was sick. Chun Jiadi and the others took turns to check his pulse, but didn't find anything wrong with him. You are rushed over from Bugyaku's backyard after hearing the news. How should I address you, sir? As soon as she arrived at Bugyaku's clinic, Yu-Er's gaze fell on the middle-aged man. This man wasn't immortal. Yu-Er could clearly sense that he was releasing immortal energy. Others might not be able to sense it, but it was extremely sensitive to this kind of immortal energy. You must be Perfected Lord's wife. The heavenly court really gave Perfected Lord face by letting a fairy come down to accompany him. No wonder Perfected Lord was reluctant to leave the human world. The middle-aged man said with a smile, I came from the same place as you. Today, I specially came to visit Perfected Lord. After the middle-aged man finished speaking, Yu-Er nodded gently. To be able to know about her and Guo Pai's origins, he most likely came from the heavenly court. However, Yu-Er wasn't sure whether he was a friend or a foe. Now that you know Yu-Er's identity, I wonder why Mr. came to Bugyaku to look for my husband. Yu-Er asked with a smile, letting the students of Bugyaku leave. This isn't a good place to talk. Why don't we talk inside? The middle-aged man smiled and said, I'm the myriad medicine monarch. Back in the days, I was considered a close friend of the mind-reading monarch in the heavenly court. This time, I came to the human world for some matters and specially came to meet the mind-reading monarch. Myriad Medicine Lord? I have never heard my husband mention your name before. Yu-Er said with a smile, but since you are my husband's good friend in the heavenly court, you can stay in the medical center first. It is estimated that my husband will return to Bugyaku in a day. After Yu-Er finished speaking, she ordered Zhou Tianyang to prepare food. It was time for lunch, so she was ready to let the myriad medicine lord eat together. At noon, there was no lunch. Because the myriad medicine lord came, Zhou Tianyang specially made a few more dishes. Guo Pai was not there, so Yu-Er called Li Yao and Jia Yuan to accompany the myriad medicine lord to eat and drink in the backyard. She and the other girls ate at another table. Brother, since you're my fourth brother's friend, then you are our friend. Since we are in Huaxia, let's play with you. Let's have a drink. Li Yao picked up a wine glass and said to the myriad medicine lord, Since you're the brother of my brother Guo Pai, then you are my friend. Since it is the first time we meet, these little things will be given to you two brothers. The myriad medicine lord was really generous. He directly gave each of them a water avoidance pearl. Yu-Er glanced at it. This myriad medicine lord was really generous. Then we will not be polite to you, brother. We will accept this thing. Li Yao and Jia Yuan looked at each other and directly put away the water avoidance pearl. The three people continued to drink, but the myriad medicine lord's eyes were glancing at Yu-Er and the other girls at the table. This wine is really delicious. No wonder Guo Pai is not willing to go back. With beautiful women and good wine, his life is really comfortable. After drinking a few glasses of wine, the myriad medicine lord said with a smile. Li Yao and Jia Yuan were surprised. Yu-Er stood up and walked to the front of the myriad medicine lord and gave Li Yao and Jia Yuan a wink. Sir, this wine is delicious. You should drink more. When Brother Bad Guy just arrived, he also praised the wine, saying that there is no such wine in the sky. Yu-Er said with a smile. Li Yao and Jia Yuan naturally understood what Yu-Er meant. Their eyes once again looked at the myriad medicine lord. Yes, there is no such wine in the sky. Today I will drink a few more glasses. The myriad medicine lord said with a smile and drank a glass of wine again. Brother Yao, come out. I have something to say to you. After Yu-Er toasted the myriad medicine lord, she said to Li Yao with a smile. Li Yao nodded and walked out. This person is not Guo Pai's friend. If I'm not wrong, this person is very likely to be our enemy. You go and send a message to Wu Xiao of the Violent Dragon Group. Tell all the Violent Dragon Group's Golden Elixir Realm experts to ambush around Bugyaku. He wants to deal with us. Let him pay a price. After Yu-Er finished speaking, Li Yao used the excuse of going to the toilet to call Xiao Wudi. Guo Pai left with a group of people in Bugyaku. Now, the only one who could compete with this person was Yu-Er. If there was anyone who could resist for a while, it would be the group of Golden Elixir Realm soldiers of the Violent Dragon Group. After Li Yao finished the call with Xiao Wudi did not dare to delay. He appeared outside Bugyaku with the Violent Dragon Group's Golden Elixir Realm soldiers. Of course, they all restrained their auras, so the myriad medicine lord did not notice anything. Sir, my husband hasn't returned yet. Let me give you another toast. Us women can't hold our liquor well. After drinking this cup, I'll take them back to the house to rest. You can chat with my eldest brother and a second brother for a while. I reckon my husband will be back soon. As Ewer spoke, she drank the wine in her hand in one gulp. The myriad medicine lord looked at you, with a playful smile and drank all the wine in his cup. However, he directly blocked in front of you, Since Scoundrelwood didn't come, I'll take my younger sisters-in-law out for a walk. We just finished drinking. It's not bad to go out and get some fresh air. With that, the myriad medicine's lord actually directly attacked you, Pervert, I already knew that you weren't Guapai's friend. If you're not a friend, then you're an enemy of Bugyaku at this juncture. Tell me what you're doing in Bugyaku this time. Ewer said and tied up the myriad medicine lord with the ribbon in her hand. How do you know my identity? This clone of mine cultivates a 9th grade heavenly immortal art. Its entire body is emitting immortal chi. The myriad medicine lord asked in disbelief. The fine wine you just drank was all brewed by Guapai himself. Since you're his best friend, how can you not drink Brother Bad Guy's fine wine? It's obvious that you're not Brother Bad Guy's friend. If you're not his friend, then why did you come to Bugyaku at this time and look around with your dirty eyes? Do you think we've caught the wrong person? Ewer said loudly with her beautiful eyes staring fiercely. You're indeed a fairy from heaven. I didn't expect that I would be exposed. But so what? Do you think you can keep me, Poison Devil, with just a group of people? As the myriad medicine lord's voice fell, his clothes turned black and his appearance turned into the appearance of Poison Devil. So many beauties. It's a pity to follow the mind-reading sage. I'll reluctantly accept all of them. Chapter 642. Poison Demon shouted. The ribbons that you were tied to Poison Demon's body were all cut. Poison Demon walked towards you, and the other girls. Show me what you've got. Otherwise, you won't have a chance later. Poison Demon looked at you, and the group of people behind her lecherously. Big Brother Bad Guy, you're back. Hurry up and kill this disgusting guy. Ewer's eyes suddenly lit up as she looked behind Poison Demon. Poison Demon was stunned. How could he not sense any aura at all? That true Lord Mind reading had actually returned. How was this possible? Just as Poison Demon was distracted, Ewer crushed a jade core in her hand. Then, all the girls in the house disappeared. No matter who you are, wait for Big Brother Bad Guy to return and deal with you, Ewer said loudly. Her voice entered Poison Demon's ears. Ewer's aura had completely disappeared. Good, very good. To think that I, Poison Demon, have roamed the 3 realms for 10,000 years. I didn't expect to be played by a woman today. True lore mind reading, your woman has escaped. It doesn't matter. Bugyaku is your base camp. I'll collect some interest first, Poison Demon said as he walked out of the backyard of Bugyaku and walked toward the front yard of Bugyaku. Set up the formation. Against those who are very strong, don't hold back. Kill them with all your might. Just as Poison Devil walked into the open space in the backyard, a powerful pressure suddenly fell on Poison Devil's body. Xiao Wudi led the violent dragon group's golden core soldiers to set up a killing array and trap Poison Devil inside. A bunch of ant-like people actually want to trap me, Poison Demon. Die, all of you. Poison Demon roared and rushed towards Xiao Wudi. However, he never expected that the person who was originally like an ant in front of him would also set up an illusory formation while setting up a killing formation. Under the influence of the human realm's rules, Poison Demon didn't hit anyone at all. Although Xiao Wudi and the others were much weaker than Poison Demon, they had already set up the formation for a long time. Poison Demon didn't gain any advantage from their sneak attack. You want to trap me, Poison Demon, with such a stupid array? The Poison Devil's attack missed, and he felt even more irritated. However, after a while, the Poison Devil calmed down. The array Guapai and the others had set up was only similar. If Guapai had personally set up the array, he could have killed the Poison Devil with a sneak attack. Now, the few of them could only trap the Poison Devil. Open up. There are too many loopholes in your array formation. Poison Demon shouted as the array formation that trapped him shook violently. However, The array formation did not break apart as he had expected. With just a few light adjustments, the loopholes in Poison Demon's attack were completely mended. Impossible. How can this be? You are clearly just a bunch of ants. How can you coordinate so well? Aren't you afraid of death? Poison Demon was stunned as he roared. The Poison Demon's attack had indeed hit a loophole in the killing array. If no one had risked their lives to block the array formation after being blasted away by the Poison Demon, the killing array would have been broken by the Poison Demon. However, just as the Poison Demon broke through the loophole, a few Golden Elixir Realm soldiers had already changed their positions and blocked the loophole. After about 10 minutes, although Xiao Wudi and the people he had brought were injured to varying degrees, they still managed to trap the Poison Demon in the array formation. This won't do. I have to go out. If it's just Xiao Wudi and his people, they won't be able to kill this clone of the Poison Demon. It's very likely that he will escape. Yuer looked at Bugyaku's situation and said while biting her lips, "Big sister Yuer, I'll go down with you. With the two of us working together, even if this Poison Demon really goes crazy, he won't be able to kill the two of us." Futaba walked to Yuer's side and said softly, "Let's go. Let's leave Wuji Palace and go take a look. We can't let this Poison Demon out. Otherwise, there will really be trouble." Yuer's worries weren't unfounded. The Poison Demon's greatest weapon wasn't his cultivation realm or Dharma treasure. Instead, it was the thing he was best at, poison. Yuer and Futaba left Wuji Palace and joined Xiao Wudi and the others in the array formation. The array formation was already destroyed by the Poison Demon. With the addition of Yuer and Futaba, the Poison Demon was once again trapped inside. "You force me. You force me. Do you really think that I'm the same as you and can only unleash the strength of a Golden Elixir Realm? Since you're courting death, I'll use this clone of mine to destroy your entire Hua, Xiaobugyaku." After saying that, the Poison Demon's strength increased again. Thunder rumbled in the sky. Yuer frowned. Not good. This Poison Demon actually chose to break through to the Golden Elixir Realm in Bugyaku's backyard. If that's the case, the heavenly lightning will definitely fall on Bugyaku. If that's the case, Bugyaku will be in trouble. Yuer bit her lips and said, "Yuer lass, is there any other way? If his aura continues to increase, our array formation won't be able to suppress him." Xiao Wudi gritted his teeth and said softly, "Open the array formation. We can't trap him anymore. If he really leads the heavenly lightning to Bugyaku, we won't be able to bear such a huge loss. This is the cycle of karma. All the karma will fall on Big Brother Bad Guy." Yuer said softly. Xiao Wudi and the others exchanged glances. The group of people left the array formation together. Following that, the Poison Demon walked out of the array formation. "Haha, Fairy, you can't bear to see your big brother Poison Demon die, right? Haha." The Poison Demon looked at Yuer lecherously and said, "It's fine if you don't want me to destroy this Bugyaku. Your husband has ruined many of our demon race's plans. Our clones have also been destroyed by him many times. I have to take you away. Otherwise, how am I going to explain this to my brothers?" As the Poison Demon spoke, he walked towards Yuer, step by step. "Big Brother Bad Guy, you're finally here. If you didn't come, your wife would have been taken away by him." Yuer's eyes lit up as she shouted behind the Poison Demon, "Do you think I'm stupid? You actually dared to use the same trick in front of me a second time. Come with me obediently. I will let you live like an immortal again. Haha, it's been a long time since I've seen such a top-grade woman like you. I'm afraid that with your figure and appearance, you would be considered top-grade even in the heavenly court." As the Poison Demon spoke, his large hand reached towards Yuer. "You dare to touch my woman? You're really courting death. I've killed the clones of your brothers. It seems that I'm only missing your Poison Demon. This time I've gathered all of them." Just as the Poison Demon's hand was about to touch Yuer, a terrifying pressure fell on the Poison Demon's body. The Poison Demon's reaction was very fast. Just as he was about to retract his hand, a throwing knife directly cut off his entire hand from his wrist. Mind reading, true monarch. Good, very good. I will make you pay the price." The Poison Demon roared. Although it was only a clone, the pain of having his hand cut off still made him shout loudly. How dare you sneak an attack on my Bugyaku? Stay here. Guopai narrowed his eyes and said. A long sword appeared in his hand. This was a Dharma treasure that he had obtained from the 9 heavens purgatory. He directly stabbed it at the poison demon. I don't want this clone anymore. I'll let you have a taste of the poison demon's power. The poison body self-destructs, and all lives will be buried with it. Chapter 643. Guopai's heart tightened when he heard the words, all life will be buried with him. He had seen such words in the heavenly book. Poison demons self-destructed, causing chaos in the human world and nearly destroying it. Fortunately, someone from the Buddhist sect found a way to neutralize the poison and averted the disaster. Lord Water, use the array formation. Don't let the poison from poison demons' clone spread out. Otherwise, it will be troublesome. Guopai hurriedly shouted to Shui Yunzi. Shui Yunzi didn't hesitate. A gentle light of water fell outside the array formation that Guopai had set up. Boom! Poison demon's clone self-destructed. He couldn't be more dead. Guopai clenched his teeth and used the array formation to prevent the poison from spreading out. Uncle Li, Uncle Xiao, seal me up. It will be troublesome to deal with this self-destructed poison. After Guopai finished speaking, Li Shixin and Xiao Daoyuan looked at each other and shook their heads. Uncle Li, Uncle Xiao, seal me up quickly. Something might happen if we delay. Guopao bellowed again. Li and Xiao nodded furiously, and a sealing magic array trapped Guopao. Naturally, it also trapped the poison demon's body, which was left behind after its self-detonation. Little Bad, you must deal with this poison. If you die in the array that we set up, we will regret it for the rest of our lives. Li Shixin said softly. He then asked Xiao Daoyuan to chase away all the irrelevant people. Although they had set up the array formation, they couldn't guarantee that the poison wouldn't escape. If even a trace of it escaped, the human world would be in chaos. After Li Shixin and the rest set up the array formation outside Bugyaku, Shui Yunzi checked it again and found no problems. The group gathered in Bugyaku's backyard again. Lord Water, Uncle Li, Uncle Xiao, how is Big Brother Bad Guy? You were asked softly. The other girls had already been released from Wuji Palace. The group was waiting expectantly for their return. Little Bad resisted the poison with his own body. He asked us to seal him together with Poison Demon's poison body. His fate is unknown. Li Shixin said softly. The girls widened their eyes. Tang Shi and Murong Weiwei were already crying. Master, Big Brother Bad Guy will definitely be fine, right? Big Sister Ewer said that he's an immortal. How can an immortal be poisoned? Immortals can live forever, right? Little Ling and Mo walked up to Shui Yunzi and asked softly, Ewer, did you tell them about Guopai's identity? Shui Yunzi didn't answer Ling Mo's question. Instead, he looked at Ewer and asked, Yes, Bad Guy said that there are some things that we should tell them, Ewer said softly. Then I won't beat around the bush. Guopai is an immortal that was demoted. In terms of realms, we are all considered immortals because we can go anywhere. Shui Yunzi said softly, but in the mortal realm, immortals are still humans. They're just people with special abilities. Will Big Bad Guy be fine? Sun Ling Ling asked softly. If he can't settle this matter, he will be in danger. His body and soul might even be destroyed. After death, he will be worse than an ordinary person. He won't even have the chance to reincarnate. Shui Yunzi said softly. Does Big Brother Bad Guy know that this is very dangerous for him? Xiao Yezi asked softly. He knows. He knows it better than anyone else. But he has no choice. If he escapes alone, nothing will happen to him, but the entire mortal realm will experience a catastrophe. Xiao Daoyuan said loudly. Xiao Daoyuan said loudly. We've met all kinds of people in the past hundreds of thousands of years, but he's the only one who has such a merciful heart like true Lord. Even now, I can't figure out why such a person would be banished to the lower world. The girls had a rough idea of what had happened. Under Yu'er's persuasion, the girls went back to their rooms. However, the girls didn't go to sleep like before. Instead, They sat in their rooms and began to cultivate according to the mental cultivation method that Guopai and Yer had taught them. At present, no matter what Guopai told them, they didn't take cultivation seriously because their man was powerful. Their man was basically omnipotent in the Huaxia, or even anywhere in the world. But now it was different. They understood that they had to work hard. At least one day, if Guopai really returned to the heavenly realm, they would have some hope of following him. Shui Yunzi, Li Shixin, Qiu Daoyuan, Qi Yin, Li Feng, Guopai, and Xian Yuanhao began to divide the work. They took turns to set up defenses around the formation that Guopai had trapped. Such a lineup was definitely the strongest in the world, if not for the few great demons. Third brother, how about it? Should we kidnap all the wives of that true monarch Bugyaku's mortal realm and release them? I want them to beg for death. I want them to know the price of offending me, the lustful demon. Lustful demon sensed the return of poison demon and shouted loudly into the voice transmission jade. That damned true monarch mind reading and those damned women. My clone was destroyed. I didn't bring them with me. Poison demon gritted his teeth and said, "How is that possible? When you left the mansion, true monarch mind reading was leading Bugyaku's experts to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean to rescue people. It would take more than 2 hours to return to the imperial capital from the Pacific Ocean with so many people. Could it be that you didn't even manage to settle a woman in 2 hours?" Lustful demon asked loudly. "Shut up. In order to avenge you, my doppelganger was destroyed. Don't ask me what happened. Let me tell you, not only was my doppelganger killed, but I also self-detonated my poison body. Now, that Guopao and my self-detonated poison body are trapped in the array. Now that my doppelganger was destroyed, I want to plunge the world into misery and suffering." Poison demon shouted loudly. When lustful demon heard the words self-destructing, she knew that things were serious and didn't ask any more questions. Third brother, you condensed a total of 3 poison bodies in more than 100,000 years. I didn't expect you to self-destruct your poison body because of a small grudge against fourth brother. Foolish, extremely foolish. Dream demon shouted into the voice transmission jade. Big brother, you make it sound so easy. It's just a small grudge. Don't you see how many times this true monarch mind reading has ruined our plans in just 4 to 5 years? Your clone was destroyed by him, and your disciple was killed by him. Aren't you angry at all? This isn't like my big brother. Poison demon said loudly. Father has his chances. Now isn't the time to deal with a mere banished immortal. Doing this will only alert the enemy, Dream demon said softly. However, his brothers didn't respond to him. Big brother, I don't think it's a bad thing for third brother to self-destruct his poison body. If that true monarch mind reading isn't able to deal with the poison in his body, he will die. Even if the heavenly court sends people to the lower realm, everything will have to start from scratch. When that time comes, as long as Father grabs hold of the opportunity, he will definitely be able to control the mortal realm completely. Then, we won't be far from unifying the 3 realms. Medicine demon, who had been silent all this while, said softly. Fifth sister, Father told me a few days ago that true monarch mind reading isn't as simple as you think. It's impossible for third brother's poison body to kill him, Dream demon said while shaking his head. Chapter 644. The 5 demon sovereigns chatted for a while before they all quieted down. The lustful demon was not in the mood to care about Guopai, because he could sense that a few people from the Skyfall River had come with ill intentions. Uncle Ao, why isn't Guopai here yet? Did something happen on his side? Ao Ji asked softly as he looked in the direction of the imperial capital. I don't know. If there's anything in the world that little bad can't handle, then something must have happened, Ao Feng said softly. He still remembered what Guopai had said to him a few days ago. Uncle Ao, you've been out of the Dragon Burial Valley for some time now. Have you thought about going back to take a look and rescue some more Dragon Clan disciples? Guopai asked Ao Feng with a smile. Breaking the taboo of the Dragon Burial Valley is easier said than done. The clan leader only hopes that A Ji, A Yuan, and that you can live well in the human world. If we have the chance to return to the heaven realm in the future, only then will we have the chance to rescue the people in the Dragon Burial Valley. Ao Fong answered softly. I want to go to the Dragon Burial Valley in a few days. The human world has been peaceful for too long. I can sense that there will be chaos in the human world sooner or later. I hope that the people of the Dragon Clan can stand by my side when the time comes. I will think of a way to rescue as many Dragon Clan disciples from the Dragon Burial Valley as possible. Then, when the human world is in chaos, I will bring all of you back to the heaven realm. Guopai's voice was not loud that day, but left a deep impression in Ao Feng's heart. However, Guopai's situation was not good at the moment. The poison body had self-detonated. Guopai was trapped in the same formation as the poison body. Guopai had been holding his breath ever since he came into contact with the poison body. Although it was not difficult for him, the feeling still made Guopai feel very uncomfortable. Poison body. How many kinds of poison did the poison demon's poison body transform into? Everything in the world has a Tao. The poison body should be the Tao of poison. Guopai thought to himself. A trace of white powder fell on his fingertip. In just a moment, Guopai's right index finger suddenly turned into a rainbow color. Guopai hurriedly used his internal energy to force the poison out of his fingertip. The blood that dripped on the ground disappeared immediately, making Guopai's eyes widen again. 3 days, 3 whole days, Guopao didn't have any clue. The longer he stayed with the poison, the more he felt how terrifying it was. If he didn't maintain a high level of vigilance at all times, his physical body would have been destroyed long ago. Elder Water, how is Bad Brother? Is there still no news? On the morning of the 4th day, found Shui Yunzi and asked. The Great Formation is the same as before. There are no fluctuations. But this should be good news. The lack of fluctuations at least means that Guopai is fine inside, Shui Yunzi said softly. You were nodded and left Bugyaku. Although was dressed conservatively, she still attracted more than 1,000 heads as she walked through the downtown area of the imperial capital. She was a perfect woman from every angle. She was simply a gift from the heavens. Yu walked out of Bugyaku. She didn't know why she walked out at this time. Guopai had been trapped for 3 days. It was as if something in her mind was guiding her. On the 4th day, she finally couldn't help but walk out. Little girl, if you endure for a few more days, this old man will leave again. Yu walked to an old residential area in the imperial capital. Suddenly, she heard a voice. Senior, why did you ask me to come here? Yu asked softly. Although she was on high alert, Yu didn't feel nervous at all. Back then, I owed the fairy of the Moon Palace a favor. I wanted to give you a string of Buddhist beads so that you could comprehend it. But you didn't. The peaceful days of the world are coming to an end. I can't let you stay in that formation forever. The old man's voice sounded again. Senior, can you come out and meet me? Since you know my husband and my sister, I believe you must have a way to save bad guy. Yu said with a hint of excitement. Back then, when the poison body was destroyed, the Buddha used merits to purify the poison body. If the Buddha has a way, why can't you? Haha, you've been in the world for a long time. Your brain is not as bright as it used to be. The old man laughed and said, Don't say it, don't say it. As long as you tell me the words body of merit, I'll have repaid the fairy's favor. After saying that, no matter how you were shouted, the old man's voice no longer sounded in her ears. Body of merit, I think Brother Bad Guy mentioned it before. But what's the connection between the body of merit and the poison body? Yu said to herself, Forget it. Maybe Brother Bad Guy will have a way. I'll tell Bad Guy the words body of merit first. Not long after Yu left the old residential area, a plain-looking old man appeared under a dilapidated wall. He was holding a wine gourd and drinking happily. Ba, my old friend Wenxin has crossed the line again. When the old man appeared, a monk in ragged clothes also appeared under the dilapidated wall. The two were less than half a meter apart. The monk squinted his eyes and said, Monk, it's not that Wenxin has crossed the line. It's that disappointing child of yours who acted shamelessly first. He dared to destroy the poison body. You really didn't teach him well. If I didn't want to help your son, I wouldn't have meddled in other people's business, the old man said while drinking. Then, will you care about what happens in the future, my old friend Wenxin? The monk asked indifferently. I don't care. I've already repaid the favor. My doppelganger has been in the mortal world for 10,800 years. It's time for me to return to the heavenly court. But let me give you a piece of advice. The result this time may not be what you think. Haha, interesting, really interesting. After saying that, the old man's figure flashed and disappeared under the dilapidated wall. Bah, no wonder that person no longer wants to be a Buddha in this life. If I had known, I wouldn't have spent so much effort to get this golden body. The monk shook his head and also disappeared under the dilapidated wall. What? You want to enter the formation? No, there's still no news from Guopai. You can't go in rashly. Shui Yunzi shook his head and refused Yu's request. Lord Shui, Brother Bad Guy has been in there for 3 days. I think he must have fallen into a vicious cycle. Maybe I can go in and help him. Don't you trust my strength? Yu didn't tell Shui Yunzi about Wenxin. Vicious cycle? Yu, did you think of something? Shui Yunzi asked softly. Lord Shui, heaven's secrets can't be revealed. Let me go in first. Yu said with a smile. Shui Yunzi called Li Shixin, Qiu Daoyuan, and the others to his side. It wasn't easy to open the formation and let Yu in. After about 2 hours of preparation, a gap suddenly appeared in the formation. Yu flew in and closed the formation. Shui Yunzi and the others breathed a sigh of relief. However, no one saw a trace of gray powder flying out from the gap. Chapter 645. The moment Yu flew into the array formation, Guopai had already appeared beside Yu. Guopai looked at Yu and set up a small array formation around Yu. He then transmitted his voice to Yu and said, How did you come in? The poison in this body is even worse than the plague in the past. You should quickly think of a way to get out. Otherwise, if you get infected by this thing, I won't be able to save you. You know how to love your wife. Yu said with a smile, seeing that you couldn't find a solution after so long. I had no choice but to come in. Get out. Think of a way to get out. I'll slowly solve it. If I can't solve it, then it's useless for you to come in. Guopai said softly, After 7 days, the poison in this body will erupt. If I can't solve it in 7 days, then I'll use my true body to gather them together and use my true body as the array core to seal them. At that time, you could go back to the heavenly court. If Sister Chong, he has a way, then save my life. If not, then forget it. Bad Guy Big Brother, if you really need to use your true body to suppress the poison in your body, do you think it's worth it? You haven't even spent 1/10 of the 100 years in the human world. You've only spent 6 or 7 days in the heavenly court. Don't tell me you don't regret it. Yu looked at Guopai and asked with a serious face. Everything has a cause and effect. Immortal cultivators pay the most attention to these causes and effects. Since it has already happened to me, I don't have any regrets. Fairy Chong even gave me her personal maid to be my wife. These 6 years are better than 10,000 years in the heavenly court. Guopai said softly. Bad Guy, now I know how to make people happy. Yu said with slightly red eyes, since you thought of using your true body to suppress the poison in your body, didn't you think of other methods? Other methods? What other methods can there be? You still don't know how powerful this poison body is. This poison body and poison devil have been refined for at least 10,000 years. Even with my true body, I can barely suppress it. Although I can refine a doppelganger, the doppelganger is unable to suppress the poison body. Guopai shook his head and said, During the previous war of the 3 realms, Poison Demon had self-destructed his poison body. Back then, countless lives were lost. In the end, the Buddhist sect's people stepped in to deal with the poison, said Yu softly. Didn't Brother Bad Guy think of any other way? Back then, the tomes of heaven recorded that Poison Demon self-destructed. However, it only said that Buddha sacrificed his true body to cleanse the poison. To put it bluntly, it was a person who gathered the poison. In the end, he destroyed both his poison body and his true body to get rid of the poison body, Guopai said softly. Brother Bad Guy, are you sure that the true body that Buddha sacrificed back then was Buddha's true body? Could it be a doppelganger or another true body? For example, the countless merits that Buddha accumulated back then. Could it be Buddha's meritorious body? Ewer said with a smile. Meritorious body? That's right. I can try refining a meritorious body. My good Ewer, how did you come up with this idea? I will refine a meritorious body now and slowly deal with this poison body. When Guopai heard the words meritorious body, he was stunned at first. Then he became excited. He had enough merits. A meritorious body seemed useless. However, if he really had a meritorious body, his cultivation path would be extremely smooth. Ewer watched as Guopai sat down cross-legged. She also found a place to sit down. As she had guessed, Guopai had thought of using his true body to suppress the poison body. Fortunately, she had arrived in time. Otherwise, once Guopai used his true body to suppress the poison body, everything would be too late. The two of them stayed inside for 6 days. Guopai already had a body that was identical to Guopai beside him. If this doppelganger was taken outside, it would make even the immortals in the heavens envious. A meritorious body that was completely refined from the power of merits. Even the great Luo immortals wouldn't dare to offend someone who could refine such a meritorious body. Every meritorious body had its own negative karma. If someone killed Guopai, the negative karma alone could destroy that person's life and even everyone related to that person. Guopai was refining his meritorious body bit by bit in the Great Formation. Ewer listened to Guopai's suggestion and actually began to cultivate under the pressure of the poison body. The two of them were busy with their own matters and didn't notice how much time had passed. However, the outside world was already in chaos. Uncle Shui, let me in. Something must have happened to Master Bad. Since Big Sister Ewer has gone in, let me in as well. Perhaps I can help Master Bad. Guohua came back from Shushan and stood in front of Uncle Shui Yunzi. Guopai's original body was a fire divine beast. Guopai had saved his parents and brother. Guohua knew that Guopai was in trouble and naturally couldn't sit still. I'm going in too. I'm going to save Daddy and Mommy. It was already chaotic enough that a group of people were clamoring to go in. Little Meng Meng had heard from someone that Guopai and Ewer were trapped in the formation. Now, she was also clamoring to go in. Fortunately, it was Uncle Shui Yunzi. Otherwise, the others wouldn't be able to stop so many people. All of you stay put. If Little Bad can't get out of the Great Formation, what can you do? If you really want to help, then find a place to cultivate. The world's chaos has just begun. If you want to help, there will be plenty of opportunities. Don't make trouble here and go do what you need to do. Uncle Shui Yunzi said loudly. Seeing that the usually amiable old man was angry, the group didn't dare to say anything more and all ran away. A bunch of little fellows. All they know is to cause trouble. Seeing the group leave, Uncle Shui Yunzi breathed a sigh of relief. Then, he called Li Shixin and Xiu Daoyuan to his side. Uncle Shui, may I know why you called the two of us here? Li Shixin and Xiu Daoyuan asked with a smile. The two of them, along with Qi Yun and Li Feng, had been standing guard around the formation. When they saw Uncle Shui Yunzi call them over, they knew that something was about to happen. You two think of a way to stabilize the formation. I'll go in and take a look. Little Bad has been in there for too long, Uncle Shui Yunzi said softly. Cough, cough. Uncle Shui, you drove a bunch of people away, but in the end, you want to go in yourself? Li Shixin coughed twice. I'll let one of my clones go in. Even if something happens, I'll be fine. They're just a bunch of little fellows. If something happens to any of them, I won't be able to explain it to Little Bad. If I go in, there won't be any trouble, Uncle Shui Yunzi said with a smile. What he said was true. Li Shixin and Xiu Daoyuan nodded. Uncle Shui, we can only open this formation for 3 breaths at most. You have to make good use of it. Li Shixin and Xiu Daoyuan said softly. Then, they called Qi Yun and Li Feng over. The 4 of them worked together to open a gap in the formation. It was just a sliver, but in an instant, Uncle Shui Yunzi disappeared before everyone's eyes. Don't let anyone else go in. Even the golden core poison body experts inside won't be able to hold on. Chapter 646. Shui Yunzi entered the great array and directly appeared in front of Guo Pai and Yuer. Then his eyes widened. Yuer, what is Little Bad doing? Virtuous body. He's actually using such a large amount of virtuous virtue to condense a virtuous body. Shui Yunzi couldn't help but ask when he saw Guo Pai. Uncle Shui, why are you here? It's good that you're here. In a while, Big Brother Bad Guy is going to use his virtuous body to suppress the poison. You can guard him, Yuer said with a smile. Using the virtuous body to suppress the poison is a good idea. Little girl, you snuck in to tell Little Bad about this method, right? Shui Yunzi said with a smile. I wonder who told you this method. Uncle Shui, can't you praise me and say that Yuer is smart enough to come up with such a method? Yuer said with a smile. Yuer is smart, but this method is definitely not something you can come up with, Shui Yunzi said with a smile. Let me take a good look at this virtuous body first. Little Bad didn't waste his time in the human world all these years. So much power of virtue. Even if he completed a trip to the West, he wouldn't be able to obtain so much power of virtue. I wonder if it's worth it to use this virtuous body to deal with the poison. It's not worth it. Big Brother Bad Guy is already preparing to use his virtuous body to suppress the poison. He's already lucky to be able to preserve his virtuous body. If he can really suppress the poison, Big Brother Bad Guy might not necessarily suffer a loss, Yuer said with a smile. Before she finished speaking, Guo Pai slowly stood up. Haha, Uncle Shui, you're here too. This virtuous body is finally complete. I'm a little reluctant to use it to suppress the poison, Guo Pai said with a smile. Little Bad, you're really generous this time, Shui Yunzi said with a smile. According to the time of the poison eruption, it will probably gather again at midnight tomorrow and erupt. Guo Pai nodded gently. His divine sense fell on the body of Merit. The other Guo Pai also stood up slowly. The pressure that erupted from his body was much stronger than that of the original Guo Pai. The body of Merit was not affected by the rules of the mortal world. The body of Merit could not form a nascent soul. However, the ability of this body of Merit alone had reached the fusion stage. The three of them sat down cross-legged, surrounding Guo Pai's virtuous body. Shui Yunzi was shocked once more. He had never refined a virtuous body in the past, so he naturally didn't know the benefits of this virtuous body. All he had to do was sit around the virtuous body, and his heart devil wouldn't appear. Little Bad, are you really going to use this body of virtue to suppress the poison? If you can keep this body of virtue, it will be of great benefit to your future cultivation. When the time comes for you to ascend to the heavenly realm, the heavenly lightning won't dare to appear because of this body of virtue. Shui Yunzi said softly. Uncle Shui, there's no other way. I can only use this body of virtue to suppress it. Guo Pai said with a smile. I haven't even lived 1/10 of the 100 years in the mortal world. If my virtue is gone, then it's gone. I'll just slowly accumulate it in the future. Haha, this old man was thinking too much. It's almost midnight. There's only one chance to suppress the poison. I'll set up the heavenly water formation on the other 3 sides. You just have to find a way to suppress it, Shui Yunzi said with a smile. Guo Pai originally wanted him and Yuer to block the path of the poison. With Shui Yunzi's help, this matter would be much easier. When midnight arrived, the dust of the poison in the formation slowly gathered together. Guo Pai, Yuer, and Shui Yunzi held their breaths and stared intently at the dust that was slowly gathering in the formation. It's actually regathering the poison. Compared to before poison demons self-detonated, the pressure of this poison has increased, Guo Pai said softly. Little Bad, the poison is at its weakest for 10 breaths after it regathers. If you can't suppress it within 10 breaths, we won't have a chance. It's fine if the poison competes with your body of virtue. We can still think of a way. If it insists on rushing out of the formation, we won't be able to stop it, Shui Yunzi said softly. Guo Pai nodded. Haha, true Lord Mind Reading. You were unable to destroy my poisoned body even after 7 days. This time around, I'm going to reform my poisoned body. Today shall be the day of your death. The moment the poisoned body was formed, he looked at Guo Pai and said loudly, Now's the time. Let's end this quickly. Shui Yunzi roared. Suddenly, the poisoned body felt a wave of pressure appear around it. Next, Guo Pao's virtuous body pounced on the poisoned body. How is this possible? How can you condense a body of virtue? This is impossible. The poison's expression changed drastically the moment the body of virtue pounced on it. However, it was too late. The body of virtue directly entered the poison's body. Guopai and the others could no longer help. They could only watch as the body of virtue slowly controlled the poison's body. Otherwise, the poison's body would devour the body of virtue. If the latter happened first, the three of them would no longer have an easy time. True lore mind reading, I've lost this time. But you won't be so lucky next time. Next time, I'll make sure the world never has a day of peace. The poison's body shouted one last time. The body of virtue and the poison disappeared into the formation at the same time. The poison's body is finally done. Guopai took a deep breath and said, and Shui Yunzi smiled at the same time. It's done. They finally got rid of this hidden danger. Brother bad guy, let's go. If you don't go out now, there will be chaos outside, Yu said with a smile. It's already chaos. I drove those guys away before coming in. Otherwise, they would have really broken in. Let's go out quickly. After Shui Yunzi finished speaking, the three of them broke out of the formation. You guys are finally out. Little bad, quickly go to the front of Bugyaku. There's a patient that a few youngsters couldn't handle. It seems to be quite serious, Li Shixin said softly to Guopai when he saw Guopai and the others come out. Let's go and take a look. Guopai frowned. Shui Yunzi and 4 other human experts walked to the front of Bugyaku. Boss, you're finally back. The patient has been quarantined. He's in the East Isolation Room. You can go and take a look. The Archjia and Qianquan went to check, but they didn't find anything wrong with him, Su Tu said hurriedly when he saw Guopai walk to Bugyaku. Let's go. Take me there. With Guopai's appearance, the whole of Bugyaku became lively. They hadn't seen Guopai in the past few days. Guotong Yuan and the others were all in seclusion. Although Chan Jiadi, Chao Qianquan, and the others could already take charge, the patient this time gave them a headache. The Archjia, Qianquan, follow me in. Everyone else, do what you need to do. As soon as Guopai entered the medical hall, his eyes fell on Chun Jiadi and Chao Qianquan. His face suddenly turned gloomy. After he finished speaking to the two, the three of them walked into the isolation room. The others didn't ask any more questions and went about their own business. The Archjia, other than you and Qianquan, no one else should have come in contact with the patient. Am I right? Guopai said softly. Only the two of us have come in contact with the patient. Boss, if you have something to say, just say it. We've been through so many storms with you. As long as you're here, we don't believe there's an illness that can't be solved, Chun Jiadi said softly. Poison, you've been poisoned. Chapter 647. Poison, she was poisoned. Chun Jiadi and Chao Qianquan were no longer nervous when they heard the word poisoned. They didn't believe that there was any poison that Guopai couldn't deal with. It's a highly toxic poison that even I may not be able to deal with. Guopai looked at the relaxed expression of the two and said, Let's go. I'll take a look at the patient. If I didn't guess wrong, it should be a girl. Her birthday is September 9th. 99 is the number of Tu Yang. However, it's on a girl with extreme mean. I was careless. Guopai said softly and walked into the isolation room. Who are you? Where are Chun Jiadi and Chao Qianquan? They said that they were going out to prepare the medicine. When will they come back? Can your Bugyaku cure me? A girl who looked no less beautiful than Little Tang. She looked at Guopai and asked loudly. Miss Chun, this is our head, Guopai, godly Dr. Gua. Chun Jiadi walked to the front and said in a low voice. Guopai, is he the Guopai who is known as the great doctor of Huaxia? The girl looked at Guopai and asked softly. My name is Chun Yuran. When I passed by her clinic today, I suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. So, I came in to see the soldiers. It's been almost an hour, but the people in your clinic didn't find anything wrong with me. I hope you can give me a satisfactory answer. I can't cure your illness. No one can cure it, Guopai said softly. Chun Yuren's beautiful eyes fiercely stared at him. Chun Jiadi and Chao Chinquan also stared at him with their eyes wide open. You're poisoned, Guo Pai continued. It's a kind of poison that I don't have the slightest confidence in. Not only you, Chun Jiadi and Chao Chinquan are also poisoned. Head Chun, since you can't cure my illness, please let me leave. I'll find someone else to save me. Chun Yuran finished speaking and stood up by herself. You can't leave. If you leave here, not only will you be in trouble, but the entire Huaxia and even the entire earth will be in trouble. Guo Pai stood up and stopped Chun Yuran, who was about to leave. Head Guo, please step aside. Although I know that I'm very beautiful and that you might have fallen in love with me, I don't like your pestering. Also, I know that Head Guo already has a woman. I won't share a man with others. Chun Yuran loudly said, Chun Ansti Test and Chao Chinquan and others. And I know that you already have a woman. Come, also I know, already have a woman. And T, C, her, T, S to her, T. Boss, what did you do to Chun Yuran? Chao Chinquan asked softly. Let her calm down. It's your turn now. Guo Pai looked at the two of them and said, I'll try to detoxify you. I can't guarantee that I can expel the poison. If I can get rid of the poison, you can live. If I can't, you might die. I'm not joking. Boss, don't waste time. Come on. Chun Jiadi said with a smile. Chao Chinquan also smiled and nodded. Guo Pai knew that the two of them had been poisoned the moment he saw them. Despite all their precautions, a trace of the poison still managed to escape. The three of them had been poisoned. Fortunately, Guo Pai had discovered it. Take this pill. I'll tell you some secrets. I believe that you will keep a secret. Guo Pai handed a pill to each of them and said with a smile, this pill is called the 9 Revolutions Soul Return Pill. Back then, only the Grand Supreme Elderly Lord of the Heavens could refine it. I'm Guo Pai. Before I was Guo Pai, I was an immortal who had a pretty good life in the heavenly court. Just as Guo Pai's voice fell, Chun Jiadi and Chao Chinquan couldn't help but laugh. The trapped Chun Yuran could also hear Guo Pai's words and laughed as well. Boss, if you were an immortal back then you must have committed a crime of sexual abstinence. That's why you were banished to the mortal realm, right? Chun Jiadi said with a smile. We know about Boss's spiritual power. We won't tell anyone about it. You don't have to make up a story to hide anything. That's right, boss. We followed you for so many years. We know everything about you. Hurry up and detoxify us. Chao Chinquan said with a smile. Why don't you believe me when I tell you the truth? Let me show you something. If I can't cure you, at least you'll know what the heavenly court is like. Then you'll have the capital to brag about it in the underworld. Guo Pai said. A huge crystal appeared in front of the three of them, including Chun Yuran. Then a beautiful picture appeared on the crystal. This is the heavenly court. That person is the Jade Emperor who banished me to the mortal realm. Guo Pai pointed at the person in the picture and said with a smile, Okay, I won't talk to you anymore. Today, I'll take the two of you as my disciples. Are you willing? Only if the two of you become my disciples will I be able to save the two of you. Boss, you're really an immortal from the heavens? Chun Jiadi asked in disbelief. Chao Chinquan was still looking at the crystal in front of him. He hadn't recovered from his shock. Acknowledge me as your master. You won't lose out if you become my disciple. Guo Pai continued. Chun Jiadi and Chao Chinquan knelt in front of Guo Pai and performed the ceremony of acknowledging him as their master. Boss, no master. Were you really an immortal in the past? Then what is your identity now? Chao Chinquan asked softly. You'll know in the future. Now, I'll detoxify the two of you. After Guo Pai finished speaking, the silver needles in his hand quickly pierced into the two of them. The two of them felt as if they had broken a bottle of 5 flavors. All kinds of feelings rushed into their hearts. Endure it. The poison in your body has spirituality. Whether you can expel the poison or not will depend on your luck. Guo Pai said softly. Chun Yuran's eyes widened. Chun Yuran and Chao Chinquan were pierced full of silver needles by Guo Pai. She couldn't imagine that a person could be pierced with so many silver needles. Her scalp went numb. After about the time it took for an incense stick to burn, Guopai's expression became more and more unsightly. According to his estimation, even if the poison in his body had spirituality, it should have been confused by his 100-needle array. It should have escaped from his fingers. However, it seemed that the Chun and Chao Qianquan didn't show any signs of expelling the poison in their body. Just as Guopai was thinking about what went wrong, Chun Jiadi roared. A drop of black liquid appeared on his right index finger. In an instant, Guopai sealed a jade bottle made of yin-yang twin-life jade, and the liquid was sucked into the jade bottle. Emperor Jia, come behind me. Your poison has been cured. Now it's up to Qianquan to detoxify it. Guopai shouted. Chun Jiadi stood behind Guopai slowly. After about an hour, a red spot appeared between Chun Jiadi's eyebrows. Guopai shook his head and withdrew his divine sense. Forget it. It's already very lucky to be able to save one. How can I dare to ask for so much? Guopai said to himself. He removed all the silver needles from Chao Qianquan's body. Chao Qianquan fell straight to the ground. Qianquan, I'm Ran. Nothing can happen to you. I came to the imperial capital this time to find you. You bastard, how can you not recognize me? The moment Chao Qianquan fell to the ground, Chun Yuran, who was placed in another plane by Guopai, suddenly shouted. Her face was full of tears. No wonder the poison in Chao Qianquan's body couldn't be expelled. It turns out that the two of you know each other. Chapter 648. Chun Yuran, tell us what's going on between you and Chao Qianquan. If you want to save him, you have to tell us what happened between the two of you. Guopao suddenly stood up and shouted at Chun Yuran when he heard her words. At this time, Chun Yuran was already weeping. When she saw Guopai's magical ability, she faintly believed that this young man who was younger than her might really be an immortal descending to the mortal world. Even if he wasn't an immortal descending to the mortal world, he definitely wasn't an ordinary person. Chao Qianquan and I lived in the same alley when we were very young. Although I'm 1 year older than him, he was the one who took care of me. When I was 8 years old, I followed my parents to the United States. Since then, we had lost contact. However, I've always thought of this younger brother of mine. He's the brother I cared about the most all these years, the brother I'm willing to accompany for the rest of my life. Hall Master Gua, save him. I beg you, you must save him. Chun Yuran cried. What goes around comes around. No wonder you suddenly appeared in front of Bugyaku, and Qianquan was poisoned. Guopai said softly, you two stay alone for a while. I estimate that Qianquan will wake up in 10 minutes. I'll think of a way to save you. Guopai finished speaking and walked out of the isolation room with Chun Jiadi. Little bad, why is there still the aura of that poison body? It was clearly completely suppressed by your virtuous body. Shui Yunzi looked at Guopai's worried face and asked softly, Emperor Jia, you continue your work in Bugyaku's hall. I'll think of a way to help Qianquan and Chun Yuran detoxify. Remember, don't let anyone enter the isolation room. Guopai finished his instructions and led Shui Yunzi and the others to the backyard. Little Bat, what's going on? Shui Yunzi continued to ask. If I'm not wrong, it should be when you entered the formation. It could also be when you entered the formation. A trace of the poison body ran out and happened to meet Chun Yuran, the woman who was poisoned. The poison attached itself to her body, and she went to Bugyaku for treatment. Chun Jiadi and Chao Qianquan came into contact with her. The three of them formed a number of 3. Chun Jiadi and Chao Qianquan were also poisoned. Guopai softly explained. Then why were you able to detoxify Chun Jiadi's poison, but Qianquan left in the isolation room? At most, why is it that many talents in Bugyaku are already married, but Qianquan still doesn't have a girlfriend? That's because he's always thinking about this woman. What he didn't expect was that this woman was also thinking about him. Although the poison in her body was suppressed, the poison that escaped had spiritual qi. Because of the relationship between the two of them, the poison in her body wasn't expelled. Guopao shook his head and said, A group of people who were in the backyard of the clinic widened their eyes. I didn't expect little Qianquan to be such an infatuated person. After Guopai finished telling everyone about Chun Yuran and Chao Qingquan, Li Shixin said with a smile, "Little bad, you can't watch such a wonderful couple die together. Uncle Li, if I had a way, I wouldn't have asked everyone to come here again." Guopai shook his head and said, "The poison was destroyed, but the poison that escaped is now free. It's attached to a bunch of couples. If you want to suppress it, you have to find another poison body to let it return to its original position. Otherwise, it's impossible to detoxify it." Guopai shook his head helplessly and said, "Big brother bad guy, I have an idea." Just as the few people were thinking hard, Yu stood up and said softly, "My good Yu, I knew you would have a way. Since you can think of the virtuous body, did you come across some kind of opportunity recently? Quickly tell me what to do." Guopai stood up and hurriedly said to Yu, "Everyone, I don't want to hide this method from you, but it involves some karma, so I can't share it with everyone. Everyone, please go back first. I hope that big brother bad guy can cure Qingquan and Chun Yuran." Yu looked at everyone and said, when the group of people heard Yu say that it involved some karma, even if Yu didn't let them go, they didn't want to continue to stay here and left one after another. "What kind of method is it?" "First wife, when I entered the great array to pester the poisoned body, did you meet someone?" Guopai asked with a smile. "I met a sister's friend who told me the way to deal with the poison body. However, the way to deal with the poison in Chao Qingquan and Chun Yuran was Yu's own idea." Yu said with a smile. "Yu, what's the method? Quickly tell me." Guopai said with a smile, "The poison in the poison body has spirituality. Since Chao Qingquan and Chun Yuran are both poisoned, why don't we let the two of them combine? When the time comes, no matter if it's a boy or a girl, because both of them have the poison body, the child will definitely be born with the poison body. Using poison to nurture poison, when the time comes, the poison body in the child will dominate. Naturally, the poison in the two of them can be absorbed into the child's body. Wouldn't their poison be cured?" Yu said with a smile. "Then what about their child?" Guopai asked softly. "The child has the poison body, but he grew up in Bugyaku. Don't tell me that big brother bad guy can't make him work for you?" Back then, the great sage said that if I become a Buddha, there will be no demons in the world. If I become a demon, what can Buddha do to me? Whether the child is good or bad in the end, isn't it the result of postnatal education?" Yu said softly. "Right now, there's only one way. Let's save them first. If their child becomes a demon one day, everything will be taken care of by me, mind-reading true monarch." Guopai said softly. Yu shook her head and then nodded. Big brother bad guy was really no longer the big brother bad guy of the past. In the afternoon, Guopai appeared in Bugyaku again. Without greeting anyone, he quickly walked into the isolation room. At this time, Chao Qingquan had already woken up. He was happily chatting with Chun Yuran about something. Ahem, ahem. It seems that I've disturbed the two of you. I have some things to discuss with you. I won't take up too much of your time." Guopai said with a smile. Chao Qingquan was thick-skinned. He smiled and called Chun Yuran boss. Chun Yuran's face turned red. "Boss, if you have something to say, just say it. Are the two of us incurable? Just say it. We can bear it." Chao Qingquan said with a smile. "I found a way to save the two of you. I need to discuss it with you." Guopai said with a smile. "Haha, I knew that boss would definitely have a way to save us." Chao Qingquan said with a smile. "Boss, I'll also be thick-skinned and say something today. If you cure the two of us, we'll prepare to get married after we get out. Just wait to drink our wedding wine." Chao Qingquan's words made Chun Yuran's face turn even redder. However, Chun Yuran did not object. Guopai looked at the two of them and could not help but laugh. "If the two of you have already planned your marriage, then this matter will be even easier to handle." Guopai said with a smile. "You'll have to wait for a year for the wedding. I want the two of you to have a child quickly. After the child is born, I'll hold a wedding for you. At that time, I'll guarantee that you'll be satisfied." Ahem, boss, I thought that we were trendy enough. You're faster than we thought. Chapter 649. Guopai explained the method to detoxify the two of them in detail. Chao Qingquan and Chun Yuran listened attentively. Then, the two of them looked at Guopai at the same time. Boss, if we have to pass on our poison to our descendants in order to save our lives, we can't do that. We know Boss's ability. Just seal the two of us, and we'll be done with it. We won't say anything against Boss no matter what. Chao Chinquin said softly. Chen Yuran nodded gently. Your child has a poison body. It's not necessarily a bad thing, Guo Pai said softly. Back then, the great sage was also called a demon. But didn't he become a Buddha in the end? Whether he is a Buddha or a devil, the key is how he cultivates. Think about it. When the time comes, I will personally take care of your child. It will be difficult for him to enter the evil path. If Boss says so, we will do as Boss says. Chao Chinquin said with a smile. Boss, I will have to trouble you to explain to our families. If we disappear for no reason, I'm afraid it will cause some trouble. You don't have to worry about this. I will take care of the matters outside. You just have to stay in the Great Array. I will give you some cultivation techniques. Yu Yuran can also be considered as my disciple, Guo Pai said softly. After Chen Yuran performed the apprenticeship ceremony, Guo Pai left some things for them. After thinking about it, he put them in the Limitless Palace. No one will disturb you. I see that the next few days have been pretty good. Hurry up. Guo Pai came out of the Limitless Palace and said to the two of them with a smile. Chen Yuran's face turned red. Chao Chinquin also felt somewhat embarrassed. Fortunately, Guo Pai had already left the Limitless Palace. Boss, how are Chinquin and Chen Yuran? Chen Jiadi asked softly. Go and call Brother Yao. I will wait for him in the backyard. Chinquin and Chen Yuran's matter has been resolved. However, you shouldn't be able to see them for a year, Guo Pai said with a smile. Chen Jiadi did not ask any more and ran to call Yao. Go to Chao Chinquin and Chen Yuran's families and tell them that they have been accepted as disciples by our Tiandao sect. They will need to cultivate in the Tiandao sect's forbidden area for a year. After a year, we will come back to see them. Chinquin's family should not have any problems. If the Chen family is not easy to deal with, let second brother give them something practical. It can also be considered as a meeting gift for my disciple, Guo Pai said with a smile. Liao did not ask anything. He was already an expert in the core formation stage. Liao cultivated all day long and rarely cared about the matters of mortals. However, since Guo Pai gave him a task, he must do it with all his heart. During dinner, Liao returned to Bugyaku. When the Chao family's patriarch heard that his grandson had been accepted as a disciple by the most mysterious Tiandao sect in Huaxia, his old man almost jumped out of joy. The Chen family and Guo Pai had the same thoughts. The Chen family's daughter had just returned from abroad and disappeared. The Chen family naturally did not believe Li Yao's words. However, after Li Yao promised to give them 1,000th of Yuan International shares, they immediately became happy and completely forgot about Chen Yuran's matter. It's fine as long as the matter is settled. Yuran and Chinquin have already acknowledged me as their master. In the future, they will not have much contact with the secular world. Brother Yao, let's have a meal together. We brothers have not had a good meal and drink for a long time. Guo Pai said softly. Hearing about drinking wine, Liao also became excited. You go and call second brother and third brother. I have something to tell you. Guo Pai said softly. Liao directly called Jia Yuan and Wang Sheng. Jia Yuan's residence was not far from Bugyaku. Wang Sheng was already working in the imperial capital. The two of them arrived at Bugyaku in about half an hour. Fourth brother, we haven't seen each other for a long time. I, as your elder brother, have not been lazy. You see, I am now at the peak of the fasting period. Huaxia, there are not many people who can exchange a few moves with me. Jia Yuan said to Guo Pai with a smile when he arrived at Bugyaku's backyard. Fourth brother, why did you suddenly call us to have a meal together? Is there something wrong? I, as your elder brother, have now gained a firm foothold in the imperial capital. I will help you with the official matters. Although Wang Sheng knew that Guo Pai had a good relationship with Kai Tianyang, it was more convenient to leave some things to him. Brother Yao, Brother Yuan, Brother Sheng, we have known each other for 15 years. You have wiped my ass for a total of 9 years. Since my car accident, I have not let you wipe my ass again, right? Guo Pai said with a smile when a table of dishes was served. He drank a glass of wine. Ha! Fourth brother, The reputation of the three of us was ruined by you in the past, Liao said with a smile. At that time, you were still young, but you went to all the major entertainment venues. What did you know in the past? I used to ask second brother if fourth brother lacked maternal love and came here to find milk. The four of them said, without restraint. Gopai also laughed. Three elder brothers. Do you think I have changed a lot in the past few years? Gopai asked with a smile. Big, it is more than big. Don't you know what you were like in the past? However, ever since you entered the Tiandao sect, I don't know what kind of sect this Tiandao sect is. Although we also have the title of elder of the Tiandao sect, but fourth brother, you should really thank the Tiandao sect. Compared to the past, you are like heaven and earth, Jia Yuan said with a smile. Liao and Wang Sheng nodded. Then, do you believe that I am the sect master of Tiandao sect, the most mysterious sect in Huaxia? Guopai continued to ask. I didn't believe it at first, but now I have to believe it. If you didn't inherit something from Tiandao sect, then there is only one way to explain your current ability. That is, you said before that you are an immortal. Haha, you are an immortal. A perverted immortal who peaked at a female immortal. Wang Sheng said loudly. Cough, cough. If I tell you now that I am an immortal who was demoted by the heavenly court, would you believe it? Guopai coughed twice and said with a serious face. At this time, Jia Yuan and Wang Sheng were laughing so hard that they wanted to hide under the table. However, Liao stared at Guopai and said two words. I believe it. As soon as his voice fell, Jia Yuan and Wang Sheng seemed to have suddenly sobered up. They stared at Liao with their eyes wide open. Then, they looked at Guopai. Brother Yao, what kind of bewitching potion did this brat give you? You actually said that you believe that he is an immortal. Jia Yuan shook Liao and said, Ever since Old Four told me that he is the successor of Tiandao sect, I have been to many places and asked many people. However, in the entire Huaxia and even the entire Earth, no one knows about Tiandao sect. I don't believe that there is someone who has magical powers like Old Four. If you want to explain everything in front of you, there's only one point. Old Four died in a car accident. Now, Old Four is just possessed by an immortal. Liao looked at Guopai and said, Brother Yao, if I am really possessed by an immortal back then, are we still brothers? Guopai was stunned. He didn't expect that Liao had already thought of this many years ago. Yes, no matter if you're Guopai, one of the four pests of Wu Castle during the New Year, or Guopai, the famous doctor in Huaxia, you are still my fourth brother, Guopai. Back then, Old Four died. Now, Old Four is still alive. We are very happy, Liao said softly. Wang Sheng and Jia Yuan nodded. Then, I, mind-reading sage, will be your brother in this life. Chapter 650. Guopai looked at the three with a smile. Although they had drunk a lot, they were now completely sober. Liao looked at Jia Yuan. Jia Yuan looked at Wang Sheng, and Wang Sheng looked at Liao. Then, the three of them looked at Guopai and laughed. Fourth brother, we want to know about your past. Tell us. We don't care if you are an immortal or not. Even if you are not, we hope that you can tell us a story. A story about the banished immortal of the heavenly court that you just said, Liao said with a smile. Guoxiao did not hide anything. He started from the time when Great Sage Sun rescued Chen Guanbao from the Chen family village. He told the story of the mind-reading sage to his three brothers bit by bit. They talked from 10 o'clock in the evening until the morning when the weather was slightly cold. The more the three of them listened, the more energetic they became. They listened to Guoxiao talking about the car accident. The remaining days were the days they spent together. I don't know if the first part is true or not, but if fourth brother really appeared in the heavenly court, he would definitely do something like peeping on a fairy taking a bath, Jia Yuan said with a smile. Fourth brother, why did you do this to us? Is something going to happen in the human world like you said? Liao looked at Guopai and asked softly. The last time we went to the Qin village together, we came back in a hurry because of the Qin village. The plague in China last time was also because of the Great Devil. Daoist Guqian was also because of the Great Devil. The incident on Medicine Island was also related to the Great Devil. Xiao Tian, who died at the beginning of the one competition, was the Great Devil's disciple. The world is about to change. It's not something we can stop just because we want to, Guo Pao said softly. Could it be that even you, fourth brother, are unable to stop this catastrophe? Liao asked softly. Guo Pai shook his head and said, It's not just me. If the big demon breaks their formation, even if Sky Court sends celestial soldiers down, they won't be able to do anything to them. When that happens, the world will be destroyed. At daybreak, Guo Pai sent Li Yao and the other two out of Bugyaku. A major event had happened in Hua Xia's business world. In recent years, Hua Xia's most popular taxpayer, Yuan International CEO, Jia Yuan, had resigned. The CEO of its subsidiary, Sun Ling, had resigned. The CEO of the Great Physician Group, Muron Weiwei, had also resigned. The CEOs of several other subsidiary companies of Yuan International had also resigned. The entire top management of Yuan International and its subsidiary companies had changed. In fact, the outside world only paid attention to the major events in the business world. The youngest director of the Discipline Inspection Commission, Wang Sheng, had resigned from his job and his whereabouts were unknown. The youngest major general in Hua Xia's military, Liao, had voluntarily left the army and his whereabouts were unknown. Master Li, Master Qiu, I'll leave my eldest brother and second brother to you. Brother Qi, my third brother's cultivation has lagged behind a little. Please take care of him. In the backyard of Bugyaku, Guo Pai handed over his three brothers to three experts of the human race. Guo Pai was a little surprised that his women had all put down their work. Guo Pai directly asked you, to bring the women into the limitless palace to cultivate. After finishing his business in Bugyaku, Guo Pai drove to the 531 army with his disciple, Zhao Jin. Chen Yinzhou knew that Guo Pai was coming and had made preparations in advance. Guo Pai had asked Chen Yinzhou to prepare 10,000 trustworthy soldiers. Now, he had already found these people. A total of 14,300 people with clean identities were waiting for Guo Pai to see them. Little Bad, eat first. After lunch, I'll take you to see them, Chen Yinzhou said with a smile. Guo Pai nodded. Lunch was very simple. After lunch, Guo Pai followed Chen Yinzhou to a very hidden training ground in the 531 army. The number of people in Hua Xia who knew this place was less than 5. Protect the country, kill the enemy courageously. Protect the country, kill the enemy courageously. Protect the country, kill the enemy courageously. Before Guo Pai entered the training ground, the shouts from the training ground made Guo Pai nod slightly. Last time, when the people of the T-Rex group fought with the Poison Devil, Guo Pai saw that Wu Xiu's cultivation was different from that of ordinary people. If it was a one-on-one battle, it would definitely rely on absolute strength. However, if it was a group battle, the strength of these soldiers who ate and drank together all day was definitely not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Guo Pai followed Chen Yinzhou through layers of checks and finally entered the training ground. Guo Pai was very satisfied with the scene in front of him. All 14,300 people were in high spirits. Chen Yinzhou appeared in front of everyone. With just a wave of his hand, more than 10,000 people lined up neatly as if they were one person. In less than a minute, more than 10,000 people lined up neatly as if they were one person. The 531 Independent Battalion has 14,300 people. We have 14,300 people. Please give us orders, Chief. A soldier who was in the enlightened stage quickly walked to Chen Yinzhou's side and said loudly, "Return to the team." Chen Yinzhou said loudly after saluting the soldier in front of him. The latter quickly walked into the formation. Little Bad, the identity of these soldiers has been tested by the army. There is no problem with them. Their files have been pulled out separately. They now belong to the 531 Independent Battalion, Chen Yinzhou said softly. My name is Guo Pai, the owner of the Bugyaku Gymnasium in the imperial capital and the suzerain of the Tiandao sect. Guo Pai stood up and looked at more than 10,000 people and said loudly. From a moment he stood up, more than 10,000 people's eyes focused on Guo Pai. If it was an ordinary person, more than 10,000 people's eyes would be enough to make an ordinary person sit on the ground nervously. However, Guo Pai was the person who preached in front of 800,000 heavenly soldiers. Naturally, he was not afraid of more than 10,000 people's eyes. Some of you know me, and some of you don't. But in a few days, you'll all know me. You now belong to the 531 Independent Battalion. But in a few days, in addition to your identity as the 531 Independent Battalion, you will also be the outer disciples of the Tiandao sect. Guo Pai's voice was not loud, but more than 10,000 soldiers heard it clearly. You don't have to be so serious. Just relax. I won't force anyone. If you join my Tiandao sect, whether it is for Huaxia or for you, it is an opportunity. You will know in the future. The purpose of my visit today is very simple. I will help you improve your strength. Guo Pai said with a smile. If you have any questions, you can raise them now. Or if anyone wants to withdraw, you can also raise them now. Reporting to the chief. I want to know, if we become the outer disciples of the Tiandao sect, what should we do if the 531 Independent Battalion and the Tiandao sect have a conflict? A soldier stood up and asked loudly. If one day the 531 Independent Battalion and the Tiandao sect have a conflict, I want you to stand on the side of the Tiandao sect. Guo Pai's voice was not loud. A group of people looked at Chen Yinzhou. The 531 Independent Battalion, or the entire Huaxia military, will not be the enemy of Suzerain Guo Pai. If such a day comes, there is only one possibility. Huaxia is no longer our Huaxia. Chen Yinzhou said loudly. You are the suzerain of the Tiandao sect. What ability do you have to make us submit to you? A soldier stood up and said. A group of soldiers around him laughed. This soldier was the same as the previous one. He was already at the peak of the enlightening stage. Guo Pai could feel that the reason why this soldier could reach the enlightening stage was because he took the pill that Guo Pai gave to Chen Yinzhou. The pill you took was refined by me. Is it enough for you to submit to me? Guo Pai said with a smile. I can not only improve your strength, I can also improve the strength of your brothers. Is this enough for you to submit to me? Chapter 651. When Guo Pai's words reached the ears of the 14,300 soldiers, all of them started to tremble. Last time, Chen Yinzhou had given them more than 10 pills, which directly increased the strength of several soldier kings by more than 10 times. They naturally knew the value of pills. This young man, who was younger than them, said that he could increase the strength of all of them. What kind of strength did he have? Guo Pai's words made Chen Yinzhou's eyes widen. That day, the pills that Guo Pai had given him had made the 531 battalion stand out again in the recent competition in the military region. He originally thought that Guo Pai could only increase the strength of 1% of the 14,000 soldiers. But now, Guo Pai's words were beyond his imagination. 14,300 people, 100 people in a group. I want you to divide into groups in 5 minutes and choose your team leader. If you can't divide into groups or choose a team leader, no matter how many people there are, no matter how strong your talent is, you will be directly eliminated. Guo Pai's voice faded away, and the people below the stage started to get busy. 3 minutes. The soldiers in front of him only used 3 minutes to have 148 people standing in front of him, with 99 people behind each of them. Such a division made a big hole into more than 100 small groups. Chen Yinzhou didn't see anything special about it. There are 100 pills in each jade bottle. I will come back to see you in 7 days. After 7 days, I will only leave 74 groups out of the 148 groups. I hope you can strive to be one of the remaining groups. Guo Pai didn't say anything else. After finishing his words, he turned around and left the training ground. Not all of them. Walking out of the training ground, Chen Yinzhou asked softly. Leaving half of them was already far beyond his imagination. However, he didn't understand Guo Pai's intention. If I have enough time, I really want to directly select 100,000 people from the military region and personally train them one by one. However, I don't have that much time now. Uncle Chen, don't worry. Even if I don't want them, they will still be able to reach the level of Soldier King in 7 days. After Guo Pai finished speaking, Chen Yinzhou opened his eyes wide and nodded. Little bad. according to your request. Other than the 531 military region, each of the other 7 military region will also select 15,000 people. After returning to 531, Guopao received a call from Kai Tianyang. The person on the other end of the phone said softly, "Little rascal, if possible, I hope you can tell me why you organized so many people." "Uncle Kai, you'll know one day. You won't believe me even if I tell you now." 7 days later, asked Li Dafu to contact Imperial Capital Satellite TV for me. "I want an hour of prime time," Guopai said with a smile. Kai Tianyang agreed immediately. "Chairman, what is Little Bad planning to do this time?" A lot of things have happened in Huaxiao recently, and they should all be related to him. When Kai Tianyang was on the phone with Guopai, Li Dafu was right in front of Kai Tianyang. When he heard that he was going to contact Imperial Satellite TV, Li Dafu asked in a low voice. "He didn't tell me, but whatever Little Bad needs, just do as he says," Kai Tianyang said softly. "The 500 medical centers have already given Huaxiao too many surprises. I don't know what Little Bad is going to do this time, but I'm looking forward to it." For 7 days, Guopai didn't leave 531. He wandered around 531 and Tyrannosaurus Mountain every day. The changes in the 531 army weren't small, but the changes in Tyrannosaurus Mountain were even greater. Guopai equipped all the Tyrannosaurus Mountain formation stage soldiers with magical treasures, allowing the strength of the Tyrannosaurus Mountain formation stage soldiers to improve qualitatively. Little Bad, the old man in Bugyako last time, was not weak. We besieged him together in the Golden Core stage, but in the end, we couldn't do anything to him. "What is the origin of that person?" Xiao Wudi asked softly. "He is a member of a terrifying organization. This is the first time you have fought with him. You will fight with him again in the future. As time passes, you will slowly know who those people are," Guopai said softly. "A terrifying organization? How many people like that are in that organization? 10? 20? It can't be that many, right?" Xiao Wudi heard Guopai's words and asked softly. If there were really so many people like that in the world, then Huaxiao would really not be able to stay calm. "Dragon King, if I tell you that the members of that organization have already exceeded 100 million, but they are sealed and not many people have escaped. Once they escape, the world will be in chaos. Would you believe me?" Guopai said softly. The cup in Xiao Wudi's hand fell to the ground with a clatter. "Little Bad, what is going on? You and I have known each other for many years, and there are some things that I have never asked. Today, tell me, what kind of sect is the Tiandao sect you are in? How many more terrifying things are there in Huaxia that I don't know about?" Xiao Wudi said softly. "Back then, before I was injured, I had entered the fasting stage and killed those guys in Japan. At that time, I thought that I was the #1 in the world. Now that I think about it, just the entire Tyrannosaurus Rex group, the lowest realm in the past, was already the fasting stage. After hearing what you said, there is actually a mysterious organization that has more than 100 million experts who are on par with me. I suddenly feel that I am so insignificant." Xiao Wudi shook his head and said, "Dragon King, do you believe that there are immortals in this world?" Guopai took a deep breath and asked with a smile, "Immortals? I don't believe it." Back then, there was a big shot in Huaxia who said to defeat all monsters and demons. "How can there be immortals in this world?" Xiao Wudi said with a smile. "Didn't that big shot who said to defeat all monsters and demons also believe in the existence of ghosts and demons in the end?" Guopai said with a smile. "Dragon King, think about it. How old is Xin Yuanhao now? He is already an expert in the gold core stage like you. Tell me, how do you cultivate? If I wanted to deal with you, I could take your life with a flip of my hand. How did I cultivate? This is why I have always wanted to know about the Tiandao sect. How many thousands of years of Huaxia civilization have you inherited?" Xiao Wudi said softly, "I don't believe in ghosts and demons, but I believe that the thousands of years of Huaxia civilization have left us a lot of good things. Coincidentally, the Tiandao sect obtained these good things, which is why there are so many experts now. Dragon King, if I say that I am an immortal who has descended to the mortal world, would you believe me?" Guopai said with narrowed eyes. "That day, the person you dealt with was a devil. Would you believe me?" After Guopai finished speaking, the teacup that Xiao Wudi had just poured hot water in has slipped out of his hand and broken into several pieces. His eyes were fixed on Guopai. Guopai smiled and nodded. He stretched out his left hand and looked at the broken pieces of the teacup on the ground. Then, the broken pieces of the teacup returned to its original state. Even the tea in the teacup returned to its original state. I am old, really old. This is the Dragon King's decree. It is different from the one I gave you back then. In the future, the Tyrannosaurus group will be yours. If there are really devils in this world, then you can lead them to slaughter all the devils in the world. Xiao Wudi finished drinking the tea in his hand, stood up, and walked towards the house. If I have 100 million brothers in the Tyrannosaurus group, even if there are really great devils running amok, I will still dare to suppress them all. 5 devils gather, the world will be in chaos. Come. After Guopai finished speaking, he brought Zhao Jin and flew towards the 531's mysterious base. Chapter 652. 7 days later, Chen Yinzhou and Guopai once again entered the training ground. Chen Yinzhou had just walked a few steps in when he suddenly stopped. Let's go, it's okay, Guopai said softly. Chen Yinzhou nodded. When he entered the training ground a few days ago, he only felt a trace of tension that made him very uncomfortable. This time, he directly felt a little breathless. When Chen Yinzhou followed Guopai, the feeling that made him breathless directly disappeared. Chen Yinzhou followed Guopai into the training ground step by step. Walking into the training ground, Chen Yinzhou was once again shocked by the scene in front of him. There were more than 10,000 soldiers. Their clothes were all tattered, but they were all in high spirits, especially the selected 148 team leaders. Just by looking at them, Chen Yinzhou could not help but take a few steps back. Sovereign! It was unknown who shouted first, but then the others followed. Fortunately, when this mysterious base was built, the soundproofing was good. Otherwise, these people's voices would have alerted the other 531 soldiers who were thousands of people away. Guopai looked at more than 10,000 people in front of him. He raised his right hand, and the voices just now were suddenly cut off like flowing water. All the voices disappeared directly. Originally, I wanted to take half of you to enter Tiandao's sect, but now my idea has changed. All of you will be members of Tiandao's sect. Now, you have at least entered the enlightening stage. Some of you know what the enlightening stage means, some of you don't, but I will tell you today that you are no longer ordinary soldiers. You are now Wuxiao, real Wuxiao, Guopai said loudly. More than 10,000 soldiers did not speak. They all looked at Guopai and Wuxiao. Some of them had indeed heard of them, but they did not expect that they would be a member now. You are now in the enlightening stage. As long as you are willing to work hard, you will continue to improve. You will enter the fasting stage, core formation stage, gold core stage, yuanying stage, out-of-body stage, spirit severing stage, fusion stage, crossing calamity stage, Deshang stage, and heaven realm. It is rare for ordinary people to live for 70 years. 100 years is considered a long life, but you are different. As long as you don't fight to the death in the enlightening stage, your lifespan can exceed 200 years. With the improvement of your stage, you can even achieve immortality like the immortals in the books. Guopai's voice was not loud. Everyone was stunned, and Chen Yinzhou shook his head fiercely. Of course, when you enter my Tiandao sect, I will give you cultivation resources. All of this is not for free. Tiandao sect is the same as the army. We train our soldiers for 1,000 days and use them for 1 day. When Tiandao sect needs you to stand out, it is more dangerous than entering any war. You should understand these things. It is not too late to withdraw now. Guopai continued. Boss, since we have already taken the pills you gave us, and Commander Chun has already agreed for us to follow you, then our little lives are yours. Soldiers don't talk big. Tiandao sect is the same as the army. We all understand these things. One of the team leaders said loudly. The others all nodded their heads. Okay, if that's the case, I won't say any more. I won't restrict your freedom, but if anyone dares to use the power of a martial cultivator to recklessly kill, I will personally take your little lives. At other times, I will use all my strength to protect any one of you. Guopai explained some of Tiandao sect's rules to everyone. The first batch of outer sect disciples was finally accepted. After walking out of the training ground, Guopai asked Jia Yuan to take out 10 billion and transfer it to the 531 Army's account. These people were no longer part of the 531 Army. They occupied the 531 Army's training ground. This money was to compensate the 531 Army. Although Chun Yinzhou said there was no need, Guopai still did everything perfectly. No matter when the great demon prepares to start the war of the three realms in the human world, I, Chen Xingyuan, will welcome it. After Guopai finished speaking, he drove back to the city of Bugyaku. The matters of the other military region could wait. There were still some matters in Bugyaku that he needed to handle personally. When Guopai returned to Bugyaku, a few girls came out of the house and said with a smile, "Brother Bad Guy, you are in a good mood today. 100 years in the human world, I didn't expect that I would only have a few years of good days. I have contributed so much. If I can avoid this disaster, I will definitely ask the Jade Emperor for another 100 years of good days." Guopai took a deep breath and said softly. The girls now knew Guopai's identity and laughed. Only Xiao Meng looked at her father with a dazed expression. "What do you mean by asking the Jade Emperor for good days? Is the life now not good?" "Brother Bad Guy, the 531 Army's matter has been settled, right? Uncle Ao and the 3 experts of the dragon race have been in Chun Family Village for a few days. Are you preparing to go to Chun Family Village?" You are asked with a smile. "I will definitely go to Chun Family Village soon. But before that, we still have something to do." Guopai said softly and took out the Old Lord's Gourd. "Brother Bad Guy, why did you take out the Old Lord's Gourd again? Did you receive something good recently?" You are asked with a smile. "That Xiao Yun's soul has awakened. A soul that will be rewarded with good and evil. I think we will have to return her soul. When the time comes, even if the great demon comes, he will have to think about such a person." Guopai said with a smirk. "Brother Bad Guy, if you want to return Xiao Yun's soul, have you settled the body?" Yu was stunned and asked softly. "I don't know how to find a strong body. She was originally an ordinary girl. Many girls die in Huaxia every day. As long as the souls of others are released, I think the dead will agree to lend a body." Guopai said softly. Guopai's words made the group of girls widen their eyes. Although they knew that Guopai was an immortal who had been banished to the lower realm, they didn't know much about immortals. Most of them had seen things like borrowing a body to return a soul in a horror movie. Now that it suddenly appeared in front of them, they couldn't accept it. "Brother Bad Guy, you can use a body to return a soul. If we die, can you bring us back to life?" Tang Shi asked softly. "Little Shi, you don't understand. Brother Bad Guy is an immortal. He is an immortal. We can't die. After a few days, let Brother Bad Guy go to hell and cross out our names from the book of life and death. Then we will never die." Little Yi said with infinite longing. "Cough, cough. You are overestimating your husband. Only a strong person like the great sage can change the book of life and death. I can't do it." Guopai shook his head and said, "Not necessarily. Brother Bad Guy, if the 3 realms are really in chaos and you lead the forces of the human realm to help the heavenly court deal with the great demon, let alone changing the book of life and death, even if you write Tang Shi and Zi's names on the list of deification, who would say anything?" You are said with a smile. The group of girls began to talk about becoming immortals in the future. Guopai's face was full of black lines. Dealing with the great demon in the human realm? Yuer's wife is really daring. Chapter 653. Guopai felt that Yuer was thinking too far ahead. However, if the Great War of the 3 Realms were to happen again, he wouldn't dare to think about dealing with the great demon and hundreds of millions of demon soldiers. However, as long as he could help the heavenly court deal with some of the great demons, it wasn't impossible for him to let Xiao Shi and the others ascend to the heavenly realm. Don't forget that he still had the beast skin of the 9th heaven-sealed divine beast. When the time came, he could discuss it with that big guy and the matter might be settled. However, the prerequisite was that he Tang Shi and the others could survive the Great War of the Three Realms. Sai, let's not think so much first. I'll help Xiao Yun find a body. Today is the night of the full moon. As long as there is a suitable body, with my current strength, it shouldn't be a problem for me to reincarnate. Guo Pai muttered to himself. Big brother bad guy, I've already contacted Uncle Li. Uncle Li just called. Today, a total of 13 girls between the ages of 16 and 20 passed away due to various reasons. The families of 5 of them have been settled and have agreed to donate their organs. Yuan International has already reached an agreement with their families. If they donate their bodies, Yuan International will give them 1 million yuan in one go. Sun Ling Ling said softly and then took out 5 pictures of the girls. Let's take this one. In the afternoon, get someone to pull the body to Bugyaku. Don't walk in front. Guo Pai said softly. Sun Ling Ling nodded. Guo Pai pulled Yuer into the house to prepare. Big brother bad guy. This time is different from the time when you put Xiao Yun into the gourd. This time, you'll be reincarnating in someone else's body. You have to think carefully. Even if this thing succeeds, there won't be any merit. If Xiao Yun does anything evil in the future, all the karma will be on you. Yuer reminded him. Everything has a cause and effect. Since she has comprehended that good and evil will be repaid, I promised to find her a physical body back then. So, I will help her find one, Guo Pao said softly. If you fail to return her soul, and she's taken away by the people of the underworld, including the crime of stealing the sky and swapping the sun, you'll have to bear all the responsibility. When that time comes, there's really a cause and effect. She'll turn into a malicious spirit again and follow you around all day long like a time bomb. Think carefully, Yuer said again. That's enough, my good wife. The reason why I dare to reincarnate was because I wanted Yuer's wife to help me. Isn't this a piece of cake for the people around Fairy Kachani? Guo Pai said with a smile. Yuer twisted her waist towards Guo Pai and began to take things out of the old lord's gourd. Xiao Yun, come out and meet me. Guo Pai set up a magic array in the room and shouted at the gourd. A soul flew out from the gourd. It was none other than Xiao Yun's soul. However, Xiao Yun's soul was much stronger compared to back then. Big brother, I heard what you and big sister said outside. Is all of this true? Do I really have a chance to be reborn? Xiao Yun asked with a hint of excitement. As long as your soul enters your body, given your current level of strength and my magic array's assistance, you will definitely be able to be reborn. However, you must consider this carefully. After you are reborn, only your mind and thoughts will remain your own. Everything else will no longer be yours. Your family and friends will not accept the fact that you are still alive, Guo Pao said softly. I need them to accept that I am alive. I just want to see them from afar. That's enough. Xiao Yun bit her lips and said softly, because she had comprehended the good and evil steals good and evil will be repaid. Xiao Yun was only a soul. Her body transformed into a thin veil, and she looked as delicate and pitiful as a jade. Guo Pai could not help but shiver. Amateus Buddha, Guo Pai said softly in his heart. Only then did he suppress a sudden trace of evil thoughts. Yuer could not help but laugh. In a moment, the female corpse that you will use to reincarnate will be sent here. This girl passed away today due to an illness. However, her soul should be guarding her body. Knowing that the people of the underworld have taken her away, you will naturally form a karma with her by using her body. When the time comes, ask her if she has any unfulfilled wishes, and you can go and fulfill them for her. Guo Pai said softly. About 15 minutes later, a side door in Bugyaku opened, and the girl's corpse was sent to Bugyaku. The people who sent the corpse did not discover anything. They were only following the orders of their superiors. The girl wanted to donate her body. They brought the body to the medical hall and handed it over to the medical hall. Then they returned. However, Guo Pai saw it clearly. The girl's soul was looking at her body with tears in her eyes. This girl's soul was different from Xiao Yun's. Back then, Xiao Yun died unjustly and her soul did not enter hell. At that time, she had already become a yiksha. However, this girl was only crying and was very calm. Xiao Yun, go and talk to her yourself. I will deal with the ghost soldiers of the underworld. After Guo Pai finished speaking, He brought you outside the house to wait for the ghost soldiers of the underworld to arrive. Hello, my name is Xiao Yun. I have died just like you. However, you're a little better than me. My body was taken away and cremated less than an hour after I died. However, you can still look at your body. Xiao Yun flew to the girl's side and said softly, Sister, do good people not live long? I should have died a long time ago. If I had died a few days earlier, perhaps my parents would have had a better life in the future. The girl's soul said softly with tears in her eyes, My name is Linya. I just want to see who my body saved. If it is a good person, I will do something good after I die. If it is an evil person, I will turn into a ghost and not let my body work for evil people. Xiaoya, I'm luckier than you. I met a good master. Your body was given to me by my master to save me. To be more direct, it was for my rebirth. If you can accept it, I'll use it. If you can't, I won't force you. Your body will be returned to the hospital. Some of your organs will be used to save people in need. Xiaoyan thought for a while and decided to say it. Asking a soul for her body, Xiaoyun felt that no matter what she did, she was going overboard. Sister, you want to use my body? I didn't believe that people would turn into ghosts after they die. Now I do. Ghosts can really be reincarnated in a body. Linya didn't agree or disagree. Back then, I was much more miserable than you. When I died, I was the same age as you. I was forced by a group of animals to commit suicide by jumping off a building. My body was directly cremated and my soul turned into a malicious spirit. Fortunately, I met my master who severely punished the evildoers and saved my soul. Thus, I believe that good people have good lives. Even if they die, they will also have good lives, Little Yin said softly. Elder sister, you don't have to say anything. I can feel that your soul is much stronger than mine. Along the way, I have followed the corpse here. Many souls similar to me have tried to absorb my soul energy. Only you have spoken to me like this. Since this is my fate, then this body of mine belongs to Elder Sister. I don't need the soul energy anymore. After Linya finished speaking, she separated a bit of energy from her soul and merged it with Xiao Yun's soul. Everything went smoother than Xiao Yun imagined. If you can, go visit my parents during the holidays. They are good people. Thank you, sister. Chapter 654. Xiao Yun watched as Lin Ya's soul became darker and darker. She had mixed feelings and did not know what to say. A girl who had accepted her fate had given up her chance to reincarnate. Xiao Yun could not help but shake her head. However, she heard Guo Pai and Yu are bickering with someone not far away. Tai Bai jinxing, you have been banished to the lower realm. You should abide by the rules of the lower realm and cultivate well so that you can have a chance to return to the heaven realm in the future. Why do you keep making life difficult for us who are doing hard work? The 6 ghost soldiers outside Bugyaku wanted to enter to take Lin Ya's soul, but they were stopped outside by Guo Pai. Hee, what do you mean by that? I'm being kind because this is the first time I'm meeting you guys. You can't accuse me for no reason, Guo said with a mischievous smile as he looked at the leader of the 6 ghost soldiers. A few years ago, a vengeful soul was taken away by Tai Bai jinxing. She used a substitute to cause us enough trouble. Did Tai Bai jinxing forget about this? The ghost soldier looked at Guo Pai and asked. Guo Pai could not help but widen his eyes. So these ghost soldiers were the ones who had been waiting for Xiao Yun back then. What a coincidence. It was them again this time. Tai Bai jinxing, the black and white impermanents already know about what happened to you last time. If you still dare to stop us from doing business this time, it will be the black and white impermanents who will come looking for you next time. Don't say that we didn't warn you then. The ghost soldier looked at Guo Pai in a daze and then said loudly. However, just as Guo Pai was about to speak, he suddenly saw Lin Ya's soul, which had lost its soul power, floating out of Bugyaku. The 3 ghost soldiers directly trapped the remnant soul in the Soul Reaper chain. Guo Pai frowned and then roughly understood what had happened. The soul you want to capture has been collected. Why don't you go back and report? Guo Pai looked at the 6 ghost soldiers and said loudly, Take a good look and see if it's the one you want to capture. Don't come looking for me when it's switched. True Lord, the soul is indeed what we want to capture, but there's still a fish in the net. Since it's here today, we'll take it with us. The leading ghost soldier said loudly. Ignoring Guopai, who was blocking in front of him, he suddenly threw the Soul Reaper chain into the Bugyaku. F***CK. You actually dare to use force against me? Good, very good. Do you guys think that I'm easy to bully after being banished to the lower realms? Guopai scolded loudly. You deal with that soul-reaping chain. Leave these 6 Lord Ghost soldiers to me. As Guopai spoke, his soul left his body and charged towards the 6 ghost soldiers. Come on, I'm also a soul now. Take out your weapons and take me away, Guopai said loudly. The faces of the 6 ghost soldiers turned gloomy. These years, the news of true Lord Mindreader had spread in the underworld. Because of the pills he refined, many people's lifespan was changed again and again. The people of the underworld understood that under the rules of the human realm, true Lord Mindreader was only in the golden core stage. If the black and white impermanents were to take action, they would definitely be able to teach this guy a lesson. However, due to various reasons, the black and white impermanents never came to find trouble with Guopai. However, many ghost soldiers of the underworld had their eyes on Guopai. Naturally, this included these 6 ghost soldiers who had once suffered a great loss from Guopai. Brothers, since True Lord thinks highly of us, let's play with True Lord. It's been a long time since we fought with someone in the human realm. The ghost soldier leader said to the few ghost soldiers with a smile. The 6 of them surrounded Guopai together. Okay, then today I'll see if the ghost soldiers of the underworld are much bolder than before. Their ability is also much greater than before, Guopai said, and directly rushed to the 6 ghost soldiers leader. Wu Xiao, who was at the peak of Golden Core, dealt with the 6 ghost soldiers. The ghost soldiers were not careless either. They took out all kinds of weapons of the underworld and fought fiercely for a moment. Brother bad guy, I've already taken this Soul Reaper chain. Ordinary weapons may not be useful for you to deal with ghost soldiers. You'd better try using the Soul Reaper chain. Just when the 2 sides were evenly matched, Yu came out of Bugyaku and threw a long black chain to Guopai. Return the Soul Reaper chain to us, and we'll forget about today's matter. The ghost soldiers' leader looked at the Soul Reaper chain in Guopai's hand and shouted loudly. This Soul Reaper chain was a magic tool for the 6 of them to deal with powerful ghosts. Only 100 ghost soldiers of the underworld were given such a Soul Reaper chain. If they lost it, they would be in trouble in the future. If you say forget about it, then forget about it. This Soul Reaper chain is mine. Since you like to use it, I'll let you have a taste of it today, Guopai said and hit the 6 ghost soldiers with the Soul Reaper chain. Originally, Guopai couldn't do anything to them, but the Soul Reaper chain restrained them. For a moment, the 6 ghost soldiers were beaten until they cried out in pain. True monarch, these subordinates were just following orders. You've gone too far. Just as Guopao was enjoying himself, 2 people, one in black and one in white, appeared in front of everyone. My lord, we didn't do our job well, and the Soul Reaper chain was taken away. Please punish us. When the 6 ghost soldiers saw the black and white impermanents appear, they all knelt on the ground and said loudly, You're not True Lord's match. Back down. The white impermanents said with a smile, True Lord, return the Soul Reaper chain to them. You have no use for it. I was wondering who it was. So it's you guys. We haven't seen each other for a while. This time, the 2 of you are also in the imperial capital. I wonder if it's business or private matters, Guopai said, and directly put the Soul Reaper chain into the old lord's gourd. Who said that this thing was useless to me? It was definitely useful to deal with the ghost soldiers. True Lord, last time you used the sky-stealing sun-swapping technique to save a woman's soul. King Yinluo already knows about this. If we're not wrong this time, True Lord should have a bigger plan. The black impermanence didn't answer Guopai's question. Instead, he narrowed his eyes and looked at Guopai. What do the 2 of you mean? I don't understand. Guopai also narrowed his eyes and looked at the black and white impermanents and said, It's the 2 of you who broke into my dojo without permission. That's against the rules. Mind reading True Lord, you've already been banished to the lower realm. We know very well what you want to do. Just now, we already felt the soul of that woman called Xiao Yun. We followed a female corpse all the way here. Do you dare to say that you're not trying to reincarnate in someone else's body? The white impermanence saw that Guopai didn't listen to them and directly said loudly. When the ghost soldiers heard the white impermanence's words, they all stared at Guopai with their eyes wide open. They only knew that Guopai was mind-reading true Lord, but they didn't expect him to be so daring to reincarnate in someone else's body. Someone in the heavenly court could do it, but no one in the mortal realm dared to challenge the authority of the underworld. Since you all know what I'm going to do, I'll make it clear to you. I'm going to reincarnate in someone else's body. Back then, you didn't manage to capture Xiao Yun's soul. This soul saved my life. I definitely won't let you take her away, Guopai said loudly. True Lord, your cultivation isn't easy. I think you should think clearly. The white impermanence narrowed his eyes and said, I haven't told you to think clearly about breaking into my dojo. What do you want me to think clearly about? Since you're here to capture someone, then let me see how strong the two generals of the underworld are. Chapter 655. As soon as Guopai finished speaking, the black and white impermanence attacked together. Two morning sticks hit Guopai at the same time. Guopai didn't dare to be careless and took out the Soul Reaper again. However, compared to the morning sticks of the black and white impermanence, the difference between the Soul Reaper and the Soul Reaper was immediately obvious. In just a few moves, the Soul Reaper was broken in half by the morning sticks. Damn it, it doesn't work. You guys are forcing me. If ordinary magic weapons can't do anything to you, then I'll let you have a taste of this. As Guopai spoke, a small flame appeared in his palm and rushed towards the black and white impermanence. Lao Fan, be careful. That's the true Samadhi fire. The white impermanence shouted. The black impermanence didn't dare to be careless and hurriedly dodged, avoiding the fire in Guopai's palm. Lao Fan? I remember now. Master Black's real name is Fan Wujio, and Master White's real name is Xiebian. I know very well where your dojo is. You guys came to my dojo to cause trouble, so don't blame me for finding trouble with you later. Guopai's words stunned the black and white impermanence. True Lord, you've gone too far today. Just as Guopai and the black and white impermanence were fighting fiercely, a gloomy voice sounded in Guopai's ear. The black and white impermanence heard the voice and immediately retreated 100 meters, then knelt on the ground. Welcome, Bodhisattva. The black and white impermanence shouted. A person in black appeared in the void. Bodhisattva, yes, the person who came was Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva, Chunching Yin was banished to the lower realm. I didn't expect such a small thing to disturb Bodhisattva. Guopai said with a smile, but in his heart he cursed. He didn't expect this matter to disturb Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Although he was now at the peak of the Golden Core realm and wasn't afraid of anyone in the mortal world, he definitely didn't want to fight with such a true immortal. Guopai himself knew very well how big the gap between him and Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva was. If I play around for a while longer, Little Black and Little White will probably be injured by your true Samadhi fire. Then, you'll come up with a reincarnation of a corpse. When that happens, some things in the underworld will be difficult to handle, Ksitigarbha said with a smile. Then what is Bodhisattva going to do today? Guopai asked softly. Although I've been banished to the lower realm, Bodhisattva should know about Xingyuan's ability and his relationship with the great sage. I just want to save a fated person. Bodhisattva, you could just turn a blind eye to it. Why do you have to make things so awkward? Guopai said with a smile. I naturally know the relationship between true Lord Mind reading and the victorious fighting Buddha. However, this matter today is not up to true Lord to decide, Ksitigarbha said as he walked toward Bugyaku. As soon as they entered Bugyaku, Yuer stopped Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva in midair and greeted him with a smile. Bodhisattva, I am you must be the one beside Fairy. I didn't expect Fairy to send you down to the lower realm to accompany true Lord. Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva shook his head and said, However, since I'm here today, I must take away that woman's soul. Damn, do you think that I won't dare to hit you just because you're Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva? Guopai saw that Yor didn't stop Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva and was instantly enraged. This was his dojo. If Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva took someone away from his dojo, even if he ascended to the heaven realm in the future, where'd he put his face if this matter was exposed? Guopai said as he threw the true samadhi fire in his hand towards Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Chinching Yuan, you're just a mortal now. At most, you're just a rogue cultivator who hasn't even reached the realm of a rogue immortal. How dare you attack me? You're courting death. When Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva saw Guopai attacking him, he was instantly enraged. If this was the heaven realm, it would be fine if you used the name of true Lord Mind reading to suppress me. However, you're just an immortal who was banished to the lower realm. Why are you so arrogant? Bam! The primordial spirit imprisonment appeared in Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's hand as he threw it towards Guopai. I won't kill you. However, no one can say anything if I take away your sacred art. Back then, I died unjustly because I was saved by Big Brother Bad Guy. You people from the underworld only know how to capture people. You're still a bodhisattva? What kind of bodhisattva are you? Just as the primordial spirit imprisonment in Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's hand was about to hit Guopai, a girl's voice rang in Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's ear, following which a stone tablet-like shadow appeared between Guopai and Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. The primordial spirit imprisonment hit the stone tablet. Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva was stunned for a moment before he was sent flying 100 meters away by the stone tablet. Good and evil will be rewarded. How can you be rewarded with good and evil? Could it be that you're one of Goddess Nuwa's people? King Yinluo stared at Xiao Yun with wide eyes and asked, Forget it, forget it. Since you've comprehended that good and evil will be rewarded, I won't interfere in your matters. True Monarch, I've offended you today. If True Monarch returns to the heavenly realm in the future, my original body will definitely apologize in person. With that, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva brought the black and white impermanence, as well as a group of ghost soldiers, and quickly flew back to the underworld. Only then did Guopai take a deep breath. If he was hit by Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's primordial spirit imprisonment just now, he would really be in trouble. Big Brother Bad Guy, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva left. You, came in from outside and softly asked Guopai, I didn't give face to Big Sister Fairy, but I did give face to Goddess Nuwa. Xiao Yun's good and evil retribution move scared Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva away. Guopai chuckled and said, You should also change your temper. You can't even say a few words, and you actually directly attacked Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. You're just a loose cultivator in the Golden Core realm, and you actually dared to attack a Bodhisattva. You really don't know the meaning of death. Fortunately, nothing happened this time. Yor smiled and said, However, if you tell Big Sister about your brainless actions, she will definitely laugh for a while. All right, my good Yor, let's take advantage of the full moon night and let Xiao Yun's soul return to her body. If we knew that Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva was so straightforward, we wouldn't have prepared so much. Come, let's pack up and get ready to begin. Guopai said with a smile. Yu nodded her head. This time, she didn't have to worry about the people of the underworld. Things were much easier to handle. Xiao Yun, soul returned to body. Lin Ya's soul has been given to you. You should be able to easily fuse with her body. In a while, I will use the true samadhi fire to help you fuse completely. It will definitely be painful, but bear with it. Only in this way will you be able to save a lot of trouble in your future cultivation. Guopai said to Xiao Yun, Big Brother Bad Guy, don't worry. I was able to endure the pain of turning into a malicious spirit back then. Now, there's nothing I can't endure. Xiao Yun said softly as her soul entered Lin Ya's body. Goddess Nuwa, Xiao Yun has received the good and evil retribution from your good and evil retribution monument. Today, I will help her reconstruct her body, which can be considered as finding a descendant for you. I don't want any favors from you, but if this girl does something wrong in the future, the karma will be on you. Guopai watched as Xiao Yun's soul completely entered Lin Ya's body. He chuckled as he put away the true samadhi fire. Bugyako had one more expert. Big Brother, Big sister you thank you. Linya stood up and looked at Guopai and you and said softly, since you have borrowed Linya's body, your name will be Linyan from now on. It can be considered as an explanation to Linya. Chapter 656. Xiaoyan moved her arms and muttered her name. Linyan, I've really been reborn. I'll leave Xiaoyan's cultivation to you. Since she's with you girls, just take whatever pills you need. If the three realms really fall into chaos, who cares what happens in the future? The most important thing is to increase your strength first, Guopai said softly. You naturally knew what Guopai meant. Originally, Guopai had planned a cultivation path for the girls in Bugyaku to take one step at a time. This was the only way to become a god. However, ever since the poison demon came looking for them, Guopai had used the pills in the old lord's gourd as if they were free. In less than a month, all the girls had become golden core experts. This speed was something that even Chun Xingyuan could not achieve in the past. I know what to do. Don't worry. Uncle Ao and the others have already gone to the Chun family village for a few days. Hurry up and go take a look. A few days ago, I did a divination. Although the heavenly secrets were hidden, I still felt that something was wrong. Ur said softly, I'll rush to the Chun family village tonight. I won't bring anyone. Have Uncle Water and the others stay in Bugyaku. The one sealed in the Chun family village should be the lustful demon's true body. I won't fight him head-on. There's no need for so many people. After Guopai finished speaking, he gave you a few more things. Then, he rode his sword and flew towards the Chun family village. The lustful demon was actually sealed in the Skyfall Cascade. When I was young, I met the great sage there. Could all of this be related? Flying high up in the sky, Guopai thought about the possible connection between him and the great demon. Because of the things that happened in the past few years, if not for someone's special arrangement, he would have just been banished to the lower realm. However, the more he thought about it, the messier it became. Let's not think about it anymore. I wonder how Uncle Ao and the others are doing. I have to hurry over. Guopai thought about it and increased his speed. From the imperial capital to the Chun family village, Guopai could arrive in a few minutes. Fellow Taoist Wei, you've lost today's game of chess. Ao Feng smiled as he looked at Wei Xingzi and said, I've already answered 2 of your questions, so it's time for you to answer one of mine. Where's the place where the lustful demon was sealed? As soon as Ao Feng finished speaking, Wei Xingzi stood up and smiled. Fellow Taoist Ao, I've been treating you to good food and drinks these past few days because I wanted you to play a few games of chess with me. I don't know anything about the lustful demons you speak of. If you insist on asking, I think you should leave my Wei estate, said Wei Xingzi loudly. Ao Feng frowned. Little Yuan, let's go. We've disturbed fellow Taoist Wei's peace recently. After saying that, Ao Feng led Ao Yuan out of the Wei residence. However, after taking a few steps, Ao Feng suddenly felt that something was wrong. When he turned back, he saw Wei Xingzi's smirk. You think you can come and go as you please? Do you think my Wei estate isn't in? To tell you the truth, the lustful demon is in the Heavenspan River. However, if you want to cause trouble for him, you'll have to pass through me first, said Wei Xingzi loudly. Ao Feng had more or less guessed Wei Xingzi's identity. Ao Feng shook his head and said, You're a human cultivator, yet you're willing to become the devil race's dog. I really feel sorry for you. You feel sorry for him, but isn't your dragon race's situation sad as well? However, when we were dealing with the dragon clan, your dragon clan also contributed greatly. Now, other than a few dragon kings who can't do anything, what else does your dragon clan have? You said that Wei Xingzi is sad, but I think you are even more sad. A black figure appeared in front of Ao Feng and Ao Yuan and said softly, Demonic aura. Just a strand of divine sense has such a demonic aura. It seems like you're the lustful demon. Little Bad was right. The lustful demon isn't dead. His true body is indeed at the bottom of the Heavenspan River. Ao Feng wasn't nervous and said softly, The other party was just a strand of divine sense. If he wanted to kill him and Ao Yuan, his strength was still far from enough. descendant of the dragon race, do you still want to participate in the matter of the three realms? However, it's still okay for you to participate. With the devil race's devil race and dragon race's mounts, your strength will increase greatly. You're called AO Phone, right? Just wait and see. Sooner or later, you'll know how terrifying our devil race's development over the past tens of thousands of years is. A.O. Yuan shook his head and said, Uncle Phone, what should we do now? A.O. Yuan shook his head and said, I tried this formation just now. It's very similar to the one outside the Dragon Burial Valley. With our strength, we can't break it. Wait. All we can do now is wait. Guopao should be here by now. When he finds Xiao Ji and Xiao Yu, we can get out. After A.O. Feng finished speaking, he sat down cross-legged. Since they couldn't get out, they might as well stay inside. Guopai had already reached the Heavenspan River. When his divine sense spread out, he didn't find A.O. Feng. However, the other two weren't outsiders. A.O. Ji and A.O. Yuan were cultivating not far from the Heavenspan River. They also felt Guopai's aura and woke up from their meditation. Guopai, you're finally back. Uncle Feng and Yuan have already entered the Heavenspan River. It's been 7 days, but there's still no news. A.O. Yu said softly. A.O. Ji, come with me. A.O. Yu, if we don't come out in 7 days, go back to Bugyaku. Tell Senior Shui Yunzi to come here. He'll have a way. Guopai said and entered the Heavenspan River with A.O. Ji. A.O. Yu stayed on the shore. If I'm not wrong, that problematic fellow Taoist Wei should know a lot. Let's go ask him first. This was Guopai's second time entering the Heavenspan River. Everything was familiar to him. He flew directly to the Wei mansion. Fellow Taoist Wei, we meet again. Wei Xingzi seemed to know Guopai was coming and came out to welcome him. Guopai said with a smile, It's been a while since we last met. How have you been, little brother? Wei Xingzi asked with a smile. Good, very good. I can see that Brother Wei's strength has grown quite a bit. It seems you've had some fortuitous encounters at the bottom of the Heavenspan River. A bead appeared in Guopao's hand. A.O. Feng and A.O. Yuan appeared on the bead. Brother Wei, I don't know how my two friends offended you, but please let them out first. We can talk things out. Guopao didn't beat around the bush. He smiled and said, Brother Wei, I don't know how my two friends offended you. Guopai, since you already know, I won't say anything else. If you want to cause trouble for His Excellency, you'll have to go through me, Wei Xingzi. I've trapped your friends in my array. You two can enter as well. After saying that, Wei Xingzi waved the horsetail whisk in his hand, and Guopai and A.O. Ji appeared before A.O. Feng and A.O. Yuan. Little bad, you're here. A.O. Feng looked at Guopai and said with a smile, I just saw your shadows on the phantom bead. I didn't expect Wei Xingzi to directly admit that he's related to the great demon. Let's go out and meet this Wei Xingzi. Guopai said with a smile. A.O. Feng nodded. Dragon's Sealing Array. It seems the demon race was quite wary of the dragon race. Otherwise, how could there be so many demon race descendants who know about the dragon sealing array? A.O. Yuan, A.O. Ji, look carefully. If you encounter similar arrays in the future, use this method to break them. After saying that, Guopai placed down the jade core and drew a talisman in the air. Then, he whispered the word break, and the array was broken. Chapter 657. Guopai, A.O. Feng, and the others walked out of the dragon sealing array and walked towards Wei Xingzi. Wei Xingzi didn't look nervous at all. A.O. Feng wanted to say something, but was stopped by Guopai. Guopai, just do what you want. Wei Xingzi shouted. I won't kill you. Tell me where the lustful demon is, and I'll go meet him. Guopai said with a smile. Wei Xingzi wanted to say something, but a black-clothed man appeared in front of them. True Monarch, you're amazing. You actually came looking for me. I wonder what True Monarch is planning to do. The black-clothed man said with a smile. He didn't look nervous at all. What else can I do? I was disturbed by Lord Lustful Demon when I went back to my hometown to worship my ancestors. Naturally, I'm here to see if Lord Lustful Demon's seal is still there. If it's not, I'll find a way to get another one. Guopai said with a smile. Ao Feng and the others opened their eyes wide. Even if he wanted to strengthen the array that trapped the lustful demon's true body, he couldn't say that. Haha, true monarch, the place where I was sealed is just ahead. I've done a lot of small things in the past 10,000 years. Although I can't let my true body escape from the array, I can still release a trace of my divine sense to do some interesting things. The lustful demon said with a smile. Guopai narrowed his eyes. This lustful demon was abnormal today. True monarch, are you surprised today? Not only can I tell you where my true body is trapped, I can also tell you where the others are trapped. The lustful demon looked at Guopai's expression and said with a playful tone, Dream Boss is in the depths of the heavenly lake in Changbai Mountain. Blood Boss is in South Africa. Third Boss is at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Fifth Boss is at the Eastern Sea's Medicine King Island. You can send someone to take a look. We've studied the array that trapped us over the years. Why are you telling me this? Guopai was stunned and asked softly. He could see from the lustful demon's eyes that he wasn't lying. A great demon wouldn't lie. Because we don't want to fight with you for the next 5 years. We're too lazy to fight with you. We're going to let you live for 5 years. If you don't return to the heaven realm after 5 years, we'll have some fun. The lustful demon said as if he was talking to an old friend. You're confident that you can break the array's heaven's domain after 5 years and bring billions of demon soldiers to take over the human realm. If lustful, 2, and lustful demon, and I, if, and lustful s to this to 2. The lustful demon said with a smile. Guopai's heart tightened. It seemed like the calamity of the human world was unavoidable. Since Lord Lustful Demon has said so, Guopai, maybe I can find something. Back then, I was prepared to stay in the human realm for 100 years. But you guys messed up my plans. Guopai said with a smile. Who's the demon? Who's the Buddha? Actually, with lustful demon's wisdom, it's a waste of your talent to be a true demon in the heavenly court. Although I don't know why Lustful Demon was banished to the lower realm, if possible, Lustful Demon can consider the demon race. It's just a title. After billions of years, the strong will be respected. Who would call someone a demon? Haha. The Lustful Demon laughed. Guopai didn't say anything. He led Ao Feng and the others away from the Heaven Ascension River. Little Bad, do you believe the Lustful Demon? Ao Feng asked softly. Let's go to the places he mentioned. If it's really the place where the great demon is sealed, then what the lustful demon said is true. However, I've been wondering why the demon race is so confident. Guopai said softly. Let's go back first. If what the lustful demon said is true, then there are some things we can't stop. Ao Feng nodded. The 5 of them quickly flew towards Bugyaku. What? The lustful demon told you where the other great demons are sealed. He's confident that he can break the seal in 5 years? The demon race is controlling the human realm? How is that possible? You couldn't help but stand up after hearing Guopai's words. I didn't believe it at first, but when I came back from Jade Tree, I used my divine sense to scan the location of Changbai Mountain's heavenly lake. There's indeed a powerful formation there. I came back this time to tell everyone that we'll split up and see if the 4 locations the lustful demon mentioned are really the places where the great demons are sealed. If it's really as he said, then we'll have to come up with a plan. Guopai said softly. Next, Shui Yunzi took the initiative to go to the Eastern Sea to investigate. Guotong Yuan and Xian Yuan Hao went to Changbai Mountain's heavenly lake. Ao Feng brought the 3 of them to the Pacific Ocean. Li Shixin and Xiao Daoyuan went to South Africa. Guopai stayed behind in Bugyaku. The atmosphere in Bugyaku became tense again. Big brother bad guy. You don't need to be so nervous. If the great demons are really rampaging, the heavenly court won't just sit by and watch. At most, we'll have another war of the 3 realms like tens of thousands of years ago. You are softly said. Guopai watched them leave and gently shook his head. There were many records of the war of the 3 realms in the heavenly book. The situation of the human race back then was completely different from the current human race. Experts like Li Shixin and Xiao Daoyuan could be found everywhere, but they could be found everywhere. That was why the immortal world valued the human race so much. In the end, many humans were sealed because of the great demons and became immortals. If the War of the Three Realms really happens again, how many people do you think will be able to participate in the War of the Three Realms? With more than 100 million demonic soldiers, how many people from the heavenly court will be able to come to the human realm? At that time, how many mortals will lose their lives? Guopai shook his head and said, "No matter who set this up, the War of the Three Realms will not be a good move for the human race. My foundation is in the human realm. I cannot watch the human realm suffer." Guopai softly said, "Big brother bad guy, I know what you mean. We still have 5 years. We still have a chance. As long as we can create a force of 10 million wuxiu in 5 years, both the demonic race and the immortal world will have to think twice about this War of the Three Realms." "You are softly said." Guopai nodded, but creating a force of 10 million wuxiu was not that easy. Guopai's mind was in a mess. The atmosphere in Bugyaku became tense. The Lingxiao Palace of the Heavenly Court was not peaceful anymore. Jade Emperor, the great demon we have been monitoring, suddenly became obedient. I wonder if something is going to happen. Is the demonic race plotting something? Tai Bai Jinxing stood out and softly said, "Dear ministers, what do you think about this?" Jade Emperor smiled and asked, "The great demon becoming obedient is a good thing. It means that good days are coming for the human realm. Your Majesty is wise." After Jade Emperor finished speaking, the immortals in the Lingxiao Palace of the Golden Arches all spoke. Only a few people did not speak. After everyone left the Lingxiao Palace of the Golden Arches, Tai Bai Jinxing walked to the side of pagoda-bearing Heavenly King Li Jing. "Heavenly King Li, you were very worried just now. I wonder if it was because of the human realm?" Chapter 658. When Tai Bai Jinxing walked over to ask Heavenly King Li, a few other ascendant immortals who didn't speak in the Lingxiao Palace also walked over. Heavenly King Li gave the other ascendant immortals a look, and they all walked towards Heavenly King Li's training ground. "Li Jing, the third prince, has been in the lower realm for some time. Do you have any news?" Tai Bai Jinxing asked softly. "A few days ago, I could still see the situation of Neza and the human realm through a magic treasure. But recently, the human realm's secrets have been concealed. I can't know what's going on in the human realm." Li Jing shook his head and said, "But there's one thing I'm sure of. Something must have happened in the human realm. When the third prince went to his dojo, Chui Ping Mountain, there were traces of demons." "Lord Tai Bai, you said there might be traces of demons in the Lingxiao Palace. What news did you get?" Zhu Shen asked softly. "Back when I went to Mount Huagua, I left some Taoist teachings in a few places with decent spiritual qi in the human world. Recently, 3 people have destroyed all the Taoist teachings in the human world. In addition, the heavenly fate has been concealed recently. I thought about it, and thought that the only people who would do such things were the devil race. That's why I brought up the devil race. I didn't expect the Jade Emperor to reject it. What news did you get? Don't hide it anymore. Let's talk about it. If something happens in the human world, we will be implicated sooner or later. It's better for us to be prepared," Li Jing said softly. "A few of my dojos in the human world were destroyed by someone a few days ago. Although it doesn't affect me much now, my thoughts are similar to Lord Taibu's. The only person who would destroy my merit body is the great devil," Zhu Shen said softly. "Our merit bodies in the human realm were all destroyed." After Zhu Shen said that, the other immortals also said. Li Jing and Tai Bai Jinxing looked at each other. Something big must have happened in the human realm. "Everyone, the fairy invites everyone to the Moon Palace for a gathering." Just as they were chatting, a big guy carrying a huge axe walked into Li Jing's dojo. Who else could it be but Wu Gang? A few of them nodded slightly. Although many people in the heavenly court did not like this fairy from the Moon Palace, Tai Bai Jinxing, Li Jing, and the others only knew of this fairy's abilities. "Wu Gang, go back and tell the fairy that we'll be there soon," Tai Bai Jinxing said with a smile. Wu Gang didn't say much and went back with the axe. Queen Mother, did something really happen in the human realm? I saw that many people in the Lingxiao Palace today. Jade Emperor saw the immortals leave and asked the Queen Mother, "So what if something happened? Can you shut it?" The Queen of the West said coldly, "You can't do anything about this, and neither can I. Just be the Jade Emperor for as long as you can. After all, you've been the Jade Emperor for tens of thousands of years. You're already sick of being the Jade Emperor. Ever since true Lord Mind Reading was banished to the lower realm, and then the third prince came to the lower realm, some people said in private that Fairy Chong, E's Jade Rabbit, also came to the lower realm without permission. Did someone set a trap? Shun, as I told you, don't ask what you shouldn't ask. It's not good for you to ask too much. Why don't you learn from your mistakes?" The Queen Mother punched the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor flew back 1,000 meters and crashed into the pillar of the Lingxiao Palace. Cough, cough. I'll remember this punch. The demon race's matter has nothing to do with me, and it doesn't seem to have anything to do with you either. I won't interfere, and you better not interfere. Don't think that I don't know what happened between you and Dream Demon. After Jade Emperor finished speaking, he wiped the blood from his mouth and walked out of the Lingxiao Palace of the Golden Arches. "Big sister, I've already informed Tai by Jinxing and the others. You don't talk to those people. Why did you call them to the Moon Palace today?" Wu Gang asked Chong, "What else can we do?" "Little Wu Gang, the world is going to be in chaos. This is an opportunity for you. If you grasp it well, breaking through to the 12th heavenly layer will be a piece of cake." "Chong," he said with a smile. How can there be such a good thing?" "Big sister, although I'm big, I'm not stupid. If I want to break through the 12th layer of heaven, I have to cultivate step by step," Wu Gang said with a silly smile. "I'm telling you the truth, but you don't believe me. I relied on this opportunity to reach the top. Otherwise, how do you think I have the strength now?" Chong, he was not angry. She said with a smile, "Since you don't want this opportunity, I'll give it to someone else." No, my good sister. You know, I've been trapped in the 11th layer of heaven for almost 10,000 years. I'm just one step away. Sister, please help me." Wu Gang saw that Chong, he didn't seem to be lying. There's a catastrophe in the human world. It's not too late for you to go down now. I'll give you a few days off. Go to the human world. Chong, he said with a smile, when you go to the mortal world, go to Ur. You should be able to find her easily. Listen to the arrangement of mind, reading, Immortal. The key to whether you can break through or not depends on him. Haha, interesting. It's getting more and more interesting. Fairy Chong, he couldn't help laughing. Sister, why do you have to listen to mind reading Immortal when you go to the mortal world? He's a pervert. Wu Gang shook his head and asked. He dares to peep at me taking a bath. Do you dare? Chong, he giggled and said, ignoring Wu Gang, whose eyes were wide open. Why aren't you scramming? Big sister is giving you directions, yet you are still asking questions. Do you have to wait until Tai Bai Jinxing and the others come before you leave? Wu Gang saw that his sister, who was fine just now, suddenly flipped out. He didn't dare to ask any more questions and directly rushed to the human world from the Moon Palace. A strong wave was suppressed by Chong, Yi's jade-like hand. Fairy, why did you call us here in such a hurry today? Tai Bai Jinxing and the others appeared in the Moon Palace together not long after Wu Gang left. Tai Bai, others don't know why I called you here. Can't you guess what I'm going to do? Fairy Chong, he said with a smile. The good days of the human world are coming to an end. You should have a good relationship with mind-reading Immortal, who was banished to the mortal world a few days ago. I want to borrow something from you. Of course, it's not for me, but for Chunqing Yuan. Fairy, please enlighten us, Tai Bai Jinxing said with a smile, still acting as if he didn't know anything. Old man, mind-reading Immortal gave you so much wine to drink in the past. Today, you actually don't know anything. Chong, he said with a smile, but I can understand. I'll tell you clearly today. I need some magic treasures that the heavenly court doesn't need, and those that you left in the mortal world. The more, the better. Fairy, why do you need so many magic treasures? The things we have don't seem to catch your eye. Li Jing asked softly. Something bad is about to happen. Something is about to happen in the human world, so I'll give you some benefits. If you continue to ask questions, then I'll give it to someone else. I need tens of millions of magic treasures, not those damn awesome things. Just give me something that can be used by heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals. It will be best if you can deliver it to me within 3 days. If you can't, then I'll think of something myself. You can leave now." After Chang Yi finished speaking, she walked towards her palace without looking back. Chapter 659. Tai Bai Jinxing hastily walked out of the Moon Palace. Li Jing and the others didn't dare to stay any longer. They all knew how terrifying this woman from the Moon Palace was. "Lord Tai Bai, what should we do next?" Zhu Lingshun softly asked. He knew of Chang Yi's abilities, but he didn't know what this crazy woman from the Heavenly Court wanted to do. "Zhu Lingshun, I remember that you had a lot of divine weapons when you were in charge of the Heavenly Army. Find a way to get them all. Heavenly King Li, you should be able to get a lot of weapons as well. As for the others, how much you can get will depend on your own abilities. In any case, I'll tell you one thing. The fairy won't mistreat anyone." Guopai naturally didn't know that the human realm wasn't in chaos yet, but the Heavenly Court was already in chaos. When Shui Yunzi and the others returned to Bugyaku's backyard was once again filled with people. Little Bad, the location the East Sea Lustful Demon mentioned, does indeed have a sealing formation. I've already verified it. It's the seal that the human and God work together to seal the great demon. However, I've checked the seal as well. The great demon's divine sense can leak out after tens of thousands of years. It's impossible for his main body to break the seal. Shui Yunzi softly said, "Boss, there's a sealing formation at the bottom of Changbai Mountain's Heavenly Lake. There's no doubt that the dream demon is inside." Xian Yuanhao softly said. Guopai was stunned. "How can you be sure that the dream demon is inside?" Guopai softly asked. Xian Yuanhao shook his head and said, "When we arrived at the bottom of Changbai Mountain's Heavenly Lake, the dream demon discovered us and met us. At the time, I had already taken out my 12-petal lotus, but we didn't fight. The dream demon immediately recognized me and even revealed Brother Tong Yuan's identity. He and Guopai arrived at Changbai Mountain's Heavenly Lake and directly dived to the bottom. When the two were looking for the sealing formation, a black-clothed person appeared before them. It was similar to the situation when Guopai encountered the lustful demon at the bottom of Heavenly Lake. Third Crown Prince, the matter of the human realm Dao ground has been settled. Why haven't you returned to the Heavenly Court? Are you planning to find a wife in the human realm?" The black-robed man asked with a smile. "If I'm not wrong, this friend should be the most pretentious ascendant who was struck by the heavenly thunder back then, Taoist Tong Yuan." With a single sentence, he had directly revealed Xian Yuanhao and Guo Tong Yuan's identities. If that black-clothed man had similar battle prowess as them, the two of them would have been seriously injured. "Haha, you're surprised, aren't you? But I'm not surprised that you're here. I am a dream demon. I see that your life in the human world is very boring. Why don't I bring you into the dream world and let you find a few fairies in the sky to have some fun?" The black-robed man said. Guotong Yuan and Xian Yuanhao's faces were filled with black lines. At the same time, they raised their vigilance to the highest state. "You don't have to worry. If I wanted to trick you, you would have entered my dream world long ago. Go back and tell true Lord Mind Reading that I'm sealed at the bottom of Changbai Mountain's Heavenly Lake. If he doesn't believe me, he can come and find me personally. I can't leave now, but when I do, I'll go and find him." Haha. With that, the black-robed man disappeared in front of Guotong Yuan and Xian Yuanhao. "The one sealed under the Pacific Ocean is the poison demon. We didn't fight, but there wasn't a single living thing around the sealing formation. It should be the poison demon without a doubt." Ao Feng nodded and said, "Little Bad, we also went to the place in South Africa that you told us about. There was a sealing formation. Around the formation, there were corpses and bones everywhere. There was even a trace of blood on the ground. We didn't see the blood demon, but it should be the place where the blood demon was sealed because there were many old human friends' auras in the formation." Li Shixin said softly. Guopai nodded after hearing their words. The four groups returning meant that the lustful demon's words were true. However, Guopai still had a big question. The lustful demon said that 5 years later, the great demon would control the human world again. Where did his confidence come from? What was the demon's conspiracy? Everyone, it's been hard on you this time. Everyone go back and rest. Let's have dinner together tonight. Let me think about what to do next. After Guopai finished speaking, he went back to his residence. Yuer thought for a moment before leading the group of women into the limitless palace. During dinner, the group gathered again. Li Yao, Jia Yuan, and Wang Sheng, as well as the other group leaders of the Tyrannosaurus group, appeared in Bugyaku's backyard. Guopai looked at his 3 sworn brothers and nodded with a smile. It seemed that his sworn brothers hadn't been idle recently. Their realms had increased by a lot. Little bad, I thought for a long time. Since there are no outsiders here, I will speak directly. Shui Yunzi thought for a moment before speaking in a relaxed manner. Uncle Shui, please speak freely. Guopai nodded and said. The lustful demon dared to say 5 years. This means that the demon race has already found a way to break the seal. Just as the lustful demon said, if the seal is broken, the human realm will fall into the hands of the demon race. At that time, the 10 billion people in the human realm will all become the slaves of the demon race. They can use these people to provide them with enough power of faith. This power of faith is enough for the demon race to fight against the heavenly court. If the 100 million demon soldiers is true, the heavenly court will also fall. Shui Yunzi said softly. Everyone nodded. The demon race indeed had such strength. At that time, although the demon race might not be able to kill us under the suppression of the human realm's laws, it won't be difficult for them to seal us. Shui Yunzi continued. I think that we should make preparations in other planes. If the demon race really rises, we can just escape. If the 5 years is just a ruse, then we can continue to cultivate in the human realm and ascend to the heavenly realm in the future. Of course, there's another method, is what Zhao Jin said. If we can gather 100 million wuxiu, we can challenge the demon race. Shui Yunzi finally said, I agree with Senior Shui's idea. There are many places we can hide. If we hide in the limitless palace in Boss's hands, the demon race might not be able to find us. After 10,000 years, if the heavenly court wins, then we can come out. In this war of the 3 realms, the human race is no longer as brave as they were in the past. Gua Tanyuan said softly. After Gua Tanyuan finished speaking, Li Qiu and the other human experts helplessly nodded. Things were indeed, as Gua Tanyuan said. The human race was no longer as brave as they were in the past. Big brother bad guy, what do you plan to do? The few people stopped talking. You, or looked at Guopai and asked softly. Everyone's eyes also gathered on Guopai. If the demon race wants to fight, then we will fight. If we hide, even if the demon race's calamity ends, it will be difficult for us to deal with our inner demons. The rise of the demon race is a disaster for us, but it is also a great opportunity. If we can deal with the great demon, even if we can't, as long as we work hard, the heavens will see what we do. The world should give us a fair answer. Guopai's voice was not loud, but the group suddenly felt their blood boiling. The feeling of fighting the demon race in the war of the 3 realms appeared again. Chapter 660. Good, very good. Haha, I really didn't misjudge you. Haha, AO phone, what do you think? You lost our bet this time. After hearing Guopai's words, Shui Yunzi said with a smile. Haha, it seems that I underestimated a little bad. I don't have any complaints about losing this time. AO Feng said with a smile. Li Shixin, Qiu Daoyuan, and the others also laughed. Gua Tanyuan also had a mischievous smile on his face. Everyone, what do you mean by this? You've really confused me. Guopai looked at them and said with a smile. Brother bad guy, even you understands. Don't tell me you don't. You said with a smile. Uncle Shui and the others are testing brother bad guy's attitude. They want to know whether you're prepared to fight the demons to the death or choose to protect yourself. It seems that everyone is very satisfied with brother bad guy's choice. After all this time, you're actually testing me. After hearing you O's words, Guopai couldn't help but laugh out loud. Since everyone is prepared to fight the great demon to the death, my previous worries are unnecessary. In fact, after the group of people talked about the great demon at noon, Guopao began to hesitate. Otherwise, he wouldn't have waited until dinner time to gather everyone. This was because the people around him were not only from the human race, but also from the dragon race, who didn't contribute much during the Great War of the Three Realms. Shui Yunzi, who was used to being free, and even a few human race experts. He didn't expect that he was thinking too much. "Brother Bad Guy, tell us about your plan," Yuer said with a smile. At this time, Guopai discovered that apart from himself, most of the people in Bugyakan knew about this test. Otherwise, they wouldn't have acted so realistically. "My disciple Zhao Jin said that Wu Xiu's plan with billions is not completely impossible." Guopai's first words made everyone open their eyes wide. Even Zhao Jin, who proposed this proposal, couldn't help but open his eyes wide. "Master," Zhao Jin couldn't help but shout. "Don't speak first. I know what you want to say, but you have to listen to me first," Guopai said with a smile. "Let's listen a little bad first. I'm looking forward to this Wu Xiu's plan," Shui Yunzi said with a smile. "Right now, there are no more than 100,000 people in the world who have reached the Xiantian realm. If I want to create 100 million martial artists, they must all be at the fasting realm." It sounds like a fantasy story, but in fact, it is not impossible, Guo said with a smile. "There are a total of 13 billion people on Earth. If we use them well, together with Bugyaku's medicinal pills, we can produce 30 million Wu Xiu and 100 million Xiantian realm experts in 5 years. Guopai said softly. "Little rascal, it won't be easy to gather 30 million Inidia experts. I know your ability in alchemy. Even if you have all the ingredients, you can still concoct pills day and night. But where are you going to find people with talent and character that you can trust? Even if you find 3 people, 30 million Inidia cultivators against 100 million devil soldiers, there's no chance of victory," Ao Feng said softly. "In terms of talent selection, it's similar to Bugyaku's plan. Bugyaku can open 500 medical centers in Huaxia in a day. Then, if Tiandao sect wants to open 500 martial arts centers, we can also open 500 martial arts centers in a day. Of course, this is only in Huaxia. I want to open 10,000 martial arts centers in the world. Each martial arts center can train 3,000 Wu Xiu. Then, these 30 million Wu Xiu can be solved." Guopai's voice was not loud, but the group of people widened their eyes. "Boss, 10,000 martial arts centers. Let's not talk about money. Jia Yuan has plenty of money. If it doesn't work, we can salvage all the treasures from the bottom of the sea. The cost of opening martial arts centers can be solved easily. However, the martial arts centers need people to operate in order to find good seedlings. 10,000 martial arts centers, 10 masters for each martial arts center. This will require 100,000 masters. What will you do with these people?" Guotong Yuan asked softly. "When I went to 531 some time ago, Commander Chun selected more than 10,000 people for me. The quality and character of these people are trustworthy. In about half a year, they will definitely be qualified to be the instructors of the martial arts centers," Guopai said with a smile. "Boss, this is only slightly more than 10,000 people. Including the rest of us, it will be amazing if we can gather 20,000 people. It's still a long way from 100,000 people," Guotong Yuan continued. "The military region of Huaxia can gather more than 10,000 people. The 8 military regions only need about 10,000 people. In addition, the people of Huaxia can also be recruited. 100,000 instructors is still very easy," Guopai said with a smile. "Little bad, you are preparing to play a big game of chess. However, even if there are 30 million Wu Xiu, they will still not be a match for 100 million great demons." Li Shixin shook his head and said, "Selecting 30 million loyal people from 10 billion people is already the limit. I am preparing to cultivate the other 70 million from Xian beasts. Of course, there are not many Xian beasts in the human world. However, if we give them some ordinary Xian beast blood, they will definitely be more powerful than the Wu Xiu in the human world." Guopai said and snorted towards the sky. A snow-white squirrel ran onto Guopai's shoulder. Boss, this little guy is already in the enlightening stage. How did you do it? The others did not see it, but Futaba saw it clearly. He could not help but ask. I used the power of virtue to help it open its spiritual intelligence. Then I gave it a pill, and it could reach this level. Guopai said with a smile. The group of people widened their eyes again. The power of virtue. How much power of virtue would it take to create an army of 70 million Xian beasts? However, when they thought about the accumulation of Guopai in the human world over the years, the group of people could not help but feel relieved. Solving the plague and opening the medical center, Guopai's power of virtue really allowed him to have such information. Moreover, this time's effort was not in vain. If the chaos of the demon race could be solved, the amount of power of virtue he could obtain would be an astronomical figure. Futaba, Mao, Huda, Air, Gongxi, Leopard Wu, Lang Lu, this time you'll have to work hard. You have followed this young master for so many years. Today, this young master needs your help. It is not excessive at all. Guopai looked at the Xian beasts and said with a smile, Boss, if there is anything you need us to do, just tell us. We will definitely not do anything. Futaba said with a smile. He had followed Guopai for the longest time and understood the matter of the demon race the most. He quickly stood up and expressed his opinion. You guys will act separately. I will give you a year's time to find as many helpers as possible. Tigers, leopards, bears, lions, anything will do. If you can't find so many, find some smart guys. When the time comes, you guys will gather the guys and take good care of them. I will look for you in a year's time. Guopai said loudly, Take these pills. You guys have followed me for so many years. You should know how to use these pills very well. Guopai said a few more words to Futaba and the others. Futaba and Mao were in a group while the others fought on their own. They flew towards some primitive forests in Huaxia. Don't just limit yourself to Huaxia. Go to the tropical rainforest and get me some giant pythons. When the time comes, they will definitely be experts. Guopai looked at the figures of the few people flying away and said loudly behind him, Boss, don't worry. We will meet in a year's time. Futaba's voice sounded. Guopai nodded. Whether this opportunity would succeed or not depended on Futaba and the others. Chapter 661. The group of people looked at Featherhead and the rest leaving and gently nodded their heads. Guopai's plan could not be said to be a good opportunity, an excellent opportunity. If a fight really broke out, even the Demon Lord would not expect that Guopai would find such a group of helpers. Little bad. Let's go help Futaba's group. 70 million Xian beasts aren't easy to get. Li Feng and I know the language of beasts, so we're not inferior to Futaba's group. Qian stepped forward and said, Good. With Brother Qi and Brother Li's help, I'm even more relieved. Guopai nodded and gave Qi Yun and Li Feng more pills. Qi Yun and Li Feng directly flew on their swords and rushed towards the border between Huaxia and Russia. Little bad, what do we need to do? Tell us. I'm looking forward to the battle with the great demon now. Shui Yunzi smiled. Seniors, you have sharp eyes. In the first year, each of you can find me 100 seedlings with talents similar to Brother Yao. If a battle really breaks out, we need soldiers, but we need good generals even more. This shouldn't be too hard for you. Guopai looked at Shui Yunzi, Ao Feng, Li Shixin, and Xiu Daoyuan and said with a smile, Ahem, brat, your talent is about the same as Li Yao's. Why don't you ask each of us to find you 100 exiled immortals? Wouldn't that be better? Shui Yunzi coughed twice and said, Hee, that would definitely be better. Seniors, I won't say too much. Anything depends on effort. Go ahead. Don't tell me that Futaba's group will complete our plan and you won't be able to do it. Here, take a bottle of these pills each. I'll leave it to you. Guopai smiled and handed over bottles of pills to Shui Yunzi and the others. Ao Feng, stop spacing out. I think you should think of a way to open the seal outside the Dragon Burial Valley. Then we can find some bodies. Any random soul of a dragon would be an expert among experts, said Shui Yunzi jokingly. Shui Yunzi, if you want to open the seal outside the Dragon Burial Valley, then go ahead. I guarantee that after you rescue the Dragon Clan will make you an honored guest. Ao Yuan, Ao Ji, you two follow me. Ao you follow Shui Yunzi. When the time comes, Shui Yunzi will split half of the good seedlings he finds with you. We're leaving. Shui Yunzi wanted to say something else, but Ao Feng and the other two had already disappeared. Lord Water, little you will be following Lord Water for this year, Ao Yu said with a smile. If you want to follow me, then so be it. Anyway, I'll give all the people I find to that brat. It's not like I can find a successor in the human world anyway. Let's go. After saying that, Shui Yunzi flew away with Ao Yu. Boss, they're all gone. What do you need us to do? Guo Yuan asked with a smile. Xin Yuan Hao kept nodding. Junior brother Tong Yuan is very familiar with the various sects in Huaxia. The name Taoist Tong Yuan is also very famous in the EC. In the next year, contact the other sects and subtly mention the matter of the demon clan to them. Let them know about it. If they can help when the time comes, give them some benefits. If they don't listen, just do what junior brother Tong Yuan did in the past, said Guopai with a smile. Guotong Yuan's face darkened. Xin Yuan Hao couldn't help but laugh. Guotong Yuan shook his head and said, Boss, that's a matter of the past. I can't use the name Taoist Tong Yuan anymore. Otherwise, I won't be able to rope in other sections. When the time comes, I'll be chopped into dumplings and sent to the medical center by those fellows who are in seclusion. Take these things. You could go to Shu Mountain and Wudong first. They're very clear about some things. Ask them to help. Such a big thing is going to happen in the human world. I can't worry about it all. After Guopai finished speaking, he handed a jade bottle to Guotong Yuan. Just by looking at it, Guotong Yuan already knew what was inside. He took out a pill and stuffed it into his mouth with a smile. No wonder boss can make so many pills. These things can definitely fool Wu Xiao, who is under the fasting period. But for people above the fasting period, I'm afraid they won't be able to take a fancy to them. Guotong Yuan said with a smile, Boss, we're leaving. After a year, you can give each of us a 3 revolutions golden pill. This is not too much. After that, Guotong Yuan and Xin Yuan Hao didn't care whether Guopai agreed or not. The two of them rode their swords and flew in the direction of Shu Mountain. Let's follow this plan first. As for how far we can go, we can only do our best and leave it to fate. Guopai watched everyone leave, leaving only his family members behind. He took a deep breath and said, Bad guy, big brother, you've already sent people out. What are you going to do with us? Yuer looked at Guopai and asked with a smile. The other girls nodded. If the human world is in chaos, Bugyaku will definitely become the target of public criticism based on the matter of me dealing with the great demon these years. You take Meng Meng and the others to Wu Ji Palace. I will set up a formation outside Wu Ji Palace. Except for me, no one can break the formation. 5 years will pass in the blink of an eye. When the time comes, you can come out. Guopai said softly. Bad guy, big brother, we are now Wu Xiao. Xiao Yezi and I are the weakest, but we are already in the enlightening stage. We don't want to go to Wu Ji Palace. We want to fight side by side with you. Tang Shi pouted and said, Yes, little Shi is right. If the great demon is really like what you said, you can't win against them. In the end, the human world will be plunged into misery and suffering. What's the point of us staying in Wu Ji Palace? Lin Shuang stood up and said. The other girls nodded. Haha, as expected of Guo Pai's women. Good, very good. If the great demon is rampant, I, Guo Pai, will not be able to stop it. I will protect your innocence and destroy your body and soul. You are my women, so you can only be my people, Guo Pai said arrogantly. The girls nodded. However, in the next 5 years, I still have to let you all enter Limitless Palace to cultivate. Because I don't have the time to take care of you all have to cultivate well and not let me be distracted, Guo Pao said loudly. The few girls looked at each other and nodded. After all the girls entered Wu Ji Palace, only Zhao Jin, Li Yao, and Jia Yuan were left in Bugyaku's backyard. Guopai went to Bugyaku and gave a few instructions. The few of them drove an SUV to the 531 Army. Uncle Kai, I am now rushing to the 531 Army. I hope to meet the people in charge of the other military region. It would be best if you can also come to the 531 Army. I have something important to tell you. Guopai sat in the car and said softly to the phone, Little bad, I go to arrange it now. Tomorrow morning, the people from the other 7 military region will be able to reach the 531 Army. I know some of the recent things in the 531 Army. You can rest assured that I will also be there tomorrow morning. Kai Tianyang said softly on the phone. Chapter 662. Guopao once again rushed to 531. According to the previous arrangement, 531's mysterious training ground was under the responsibility of Tyrannosaurus Group's people. Guopao's car arrived, and after greeting Qin Yinzhou, he directly entered the training ground. By gang, you held back just now. If we met a real enemy, you would be dead. A soldier from T-Rex shouted at the soldier selected by 531. Qinjia, did you not eat today? You will be punished to run 108 laps with 10x gravity. Lu Kuan, you are wrong. You are wrong again. If you're wrong again, I don't mind using my own method to eliminate you. The bad boss does not want mediocre people around him. Good, very good. That's it. Your bodies have reached the peak of the innate stage. As long as you break through your limits again, you will reach the enlightening stage. Then, you will be able to enter the next stage like them. Zilong Chu, he shouted at the group of people. Just as Chu Yi finished speaking, a few soldiers who had already reached the peak of the Xiantian realm in a square formation of more than 300 people let out a loud roar at the same time. They had broken through the Xiantian realm and entered the enlightening stage. Good, very good. You can go over there and train. This is the vital essence pill. Take it and replenish your vital essence. Chu Yi said with a smile. A few soldiers walked out under the envious gaze of a group of people and walked into another square formation. Boss Chu again. I need 10x pressure. If 10x is not enough, then 20x. I don't believe that I am not worse than Lu Heng and the others. Just as a few people walked out of the square formation, a big man shouted at Chu Yi. Meng Chao was originally a troublemaker in the 531. Ever since he was selected to join the Independent Brigade and saw Guopai, he wanted to be recognized. He worked harder than other soldiers. When others carried 30 kilograms, he carried 50 kilograms. When others ran 100 laps, he ran 200 laps. At first, the results were obvious. He was in the first batch of people to enter the innate stage. However, when he saw that his comrades had broken through the innate stage and entered the enlightening stage while he was still unable to break through the barrier, Meng Chao became anxious. Meng Chao, Chu Yi frowned as he looked at the man in front of him. Just as he was about to say something, Guopai patted him lightly. Chu Yi nodded, and Guopai called out his name. Boss Guopao, it's not that I'm not working hard, but no matter how hard I try, I can't break through the barrier that's blocking me. I hate it so much. When Meng Chao saw Guopao, he immediately knelt on the ground and burst into tears. Get up. Just follow me for now. You're very special. You'll slowly find out in the future. The others continue with their training. After Guopai finished speaking, a strange force pulled Meng Chao up. Meng Chao nodded and followed behind Guopai. Heaven's jealousy, mysterious body. I didn't expect that I would encounter one of the most magical physiques recorded in the heavenly book, the Heaven's Jealousy Mysterious Body. Guopai looked at Meng Chao and couldn't help laughing. Boss Guopai, I can't break through. It's embarrassing. Meng Chao didn't know what to say. After thinking for a long time, he said this sentence. I don't think there's anything embarrassing about it. Guopai said with a smile. I've seen 3 people with your situation, and all of them stopped at the innate realm. I've heard of a total of 10 people. Boss, then I don't have any hope at all. I know that I've done a lot of wrong things in the military camp, but I want to change now. Why can't you give me a chance? Boss, I really want to become a strong person. Tell me what you can do if you become a strong person. Guopai asked with a smile. If I can become a strong person like you, I can. Meng Chao thought for a moment, but didn't say a word. Your situation is called the heaven's jealousy mysterious body. Do you know what the words heaven's jealousy mean? Even the heavens are jealous of your fleshly body, which is why they suppressed your strength to the Xiantian realm. Guopai said with a smile, if you can break through the innate realm, then your cultivation in the future will be like a flowing river. When the conditions are right, success will come naturally. Boss, don't lie to me. You just said that you've seen 3 people with this kind of heaven's jealousy mysterious body, and all of them stopped at the innate realm. How can I break through? Forget it, forget it. After today, I'll leave the independent brigade and go back to my original place. Meng Chao shook his head and said, I know 10 people with the heaven's jealousy mysterious body. 9 of them didn't succeed, but 1 succeeded. His name is Wu Gang. Maybe you're unfamiliar with this name, but I want to tell you that he, the great sage, heaven's equal, and Erling Immortal are known as the 3 great generals of the 3 realms. Guopai said with a smile. Meng Chao's eyes widened. Cultivate well. I won't give you any less resources, no matter whether you can break through the innate realm or not. Guopai said with a smile. Zhao Jin, this person is your junior brother. Take good care of him. I don't know how much he can improve when he breaks through the innate realm. Big guy, Master has said so. Why don't you do the ceremony of apprenticeship and thank Master? Zhao Jin looked at Meng Chao, who was already in a daze, and kicked his butt. Meng Chao seemed to be reminded by Zhao Jin's kick. He quickly knelt on the ground and kowtowed fiercely. Okay, you've already kowtowed 9 times. Are you done yet? Zhao Jin pulled Meng Chao up. Just like that, he became Guopai's second disciple in the world. Not long after Guopai left Bugyaku, a big guy more than 2 meters tall, wearing fashionable clothes, walked into Bugyaku. Cough, cough, cough. Are you here to see a doctor or to get medicine? Chunjeti gave the 2 newcomers a look. One of them, Wu Yang, who had just graduated, quickly walked to the big guy's side. I'm not here to see a doctor or to get medicine. Where's your master? Is he at home? If he's not, you can ask her to come out, the big guy said loudly. Everyone in the room looked at him. He was more than 2 meters tall, and his fingers were like carrots. He was wearing a pair of cropped pants that clearly did not fit him. His hair was spread out behind his head. But if you looked closely, you would find that this big guy's hair was very special. Every 36 strands of hair form a braid. At first glance, he looked really fashionable. But if you looked closely, you could only describe this big guy with one word: retard. Where's your master? Where's you? Hurry up and ask them to come out to see me, the big guy said loudly to Wu Yang. Brother, please wait a moment. Since you know our master and then you're a friend of Bugyaku. Looking at your body, even if the old Jade Emperor is sick, you won't get sick. Come with me and drink some of our master's good wine. Let's wait for him, Chun Jiadi said with a smile. What? The Supreme still has wine? Hee. They'll go in and drink some wine and wait for them to come back. The big guy laughed and followed Chinjati to Bugyaku's guest room. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.